We have an upcoming interview with a man.
With a man.
A man who loves Sega.
How much does he love Sega?
He loves Sega so much that he's remaking a Sega game.
Dude, I wanted you to keep it up.
Video Game Podcast.
What do you get when you cross good friends, beer, and video games? That's right, it's a Level 857 Video Game Podcast. And we are your hosts, Algie857.
That's Untitled Chapter.
Sticks.
Turbo 857.
And your boy Big Shock, what up?
That's right, and we got a really good show for you today.
Damn right.
Really, really good one. If you guys are listening to this, or if you want to listen to it, make sure you do so on all the streaming podcasting services.
That's right.
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. But if you want to check us live every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time,
Easter.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
And make sure you subscribe to our channel, because we do this all the time. We do this every week. Make sure you do it, man. Because you know what's going to happen
Comment.
once we hit that. We're actually very close, but once we hit that 500 subscribers.
500.
Hot sauce challenge.
Hot sauce challenge.
We're doing that hot sauce.
Burn our faces off during the podcast.
Not looking forward to it,
viewing
but
pleasure.
it's going to happen very soon.
Oh, it's going to be great.
It's going to happen very soon.
But speaking of remakes, man, y'all gonna be...
Good thing you said remakes. I was going to say stay tuned. If you're watching, watch that interview. It's coming up.
That's not a remake.
Panzer Dragoon Remake.
Oh, well, you kind of like...
That was a bad segue.
That was a terrible
But it's all right.
He like just cut off my thing and just
But
like
that's all right.
completely
No, it's
forced
okay.
it.
It's okay. It's okay. Let it happen. Let it ride.
Let it ride.
Yo, that was awkward as
It
hell.
worked out better in my head the way I planned it out. And it just,
Yo, he
execution was
better off
horrible.
As soon as I finished,
Yeah.
if he did that after I
No,
finished,
no,
it would
no,
have
it
been
was just-
perfect.
No, it was bad.
Oh, man.
So how would this have worked? Let's see.
Can we
my
try
head,
this
I thought
again?
of it.
Can you guys try this again?
Let's just rewind.
It came out
You know the
differently in my head. I was
craziest
like,
thing is,
wait.
I don't even know what I was about to say. That's how much it like distracted
Nah,
me.
I'm sorry, man.
Speaking
My
of
bad.
remakes,
I know.
we have an upcoming interview with a man.
With a man.
A man who loves Sega.
How much does he love Sega?
He loves Sega so much that he's remaking a Sega game.
Dude, I wanted you to keep it up. Why did you crack
To
that?
help you with
Why
that,
did
man.
you crack?
I tried to help
Come
you,
on,
dude.
Jay. You almost had
I
it.
tried helping you. I gave you the assist. I was like, how much?
I was like, oh, keep it going, Jay.
It worked out
what-
flawless. That's what I wanted to do.
And what is the name of this Sega game?
Yes, what's his name?
Oh, this is a
What's the name of it?
Panzer Dragoon Remake.
I think it's just Panzer Dragoon. But it's
No,
a remake
no,
of Panzer Dragoon.
No. Panzer Dragoon Remake.
Wow.
And there's a thirsty fan base for this game.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we are here for you guys.
That's right.
Especially me and Chalk, man.
We
haven't-
ask
we haven't
all
played
the
it yet.
hard-hitting questions that you want answered.
Yes.
Yes. Now, are they answered? We'll see.
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
You're going to have to watch
You're
and
going to have
find
to
out.
watch.
A little
We'll
bit.
see.
And if you're watching now, hi. No, we started.
Here goes that interview right now.
And today we have a very special podcast. We have a guest,
Right, we do.
Panzer Dragoon Remake developer,
Ben Anseaume.
Yes. Ben.
otherwise known as Ben Awesome.
Best
Damn
Ben
right.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Ben
correct.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. So, Ben, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Oh, about myself. So I'm producer at TA Publishing. TA Publishing is a company in France and a child company of Forever Entertainment. Forever Entertainment is a big publisher in Europe, based in Poland. And it's a group, in fact. So we have Forever as a publisher, we have Megapixel Studio as a development studio, and TA Publishing as a co-producer. Company. So basically my daily job is we have two parts. The first part is publishing indie games. So I try to find the best indie game possible to help them finish the game and then publish them on consoles especially. And I also take care of producing in IPs for Sega and Square Enix. So the three IPs I'm working on currently are Panzer Dragoon, House of the Dead, and Fear Effect. And for all this IP, the producer role in Forever Group is first to bring some money in the project. So TA Publishing is financing the project, and then helping as the development team as much as I can, in fact. So it's different according to the project. For example, for Panzer Dragoon, I'm especially in charge of the relationship with external production team. I mean the musician, some part of relation with Sega, etc. For Fear Effect, I'm more in charge. I take care of the milestones we deliver to Square Enix, etc. Sorry about that. So it's producer is first putting some money and then helping the development team as much as I can. The development team is in Poland. They are very, very talented, but overwhelmed under the work. They have a lot of work to do for Panzer Dragoon especially, and the other projects also. So basically, that's what I do.
Awesome. Okay. I have a quick question. The figurines that you have on the shelf behind you there, we have the Mega Man one.
So sorry, but I think yours is bigger than mine because it's very thick.
Yeah, these light up. These light up actually.
Yeah. So no. For me, it's just my kids who made this. It's Pearl of Bead, I think in English or something like this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to have kids, not always, but sometimes.
So who wants to go first with their questions?
I'll go. Just to let you know, me and Sticks, very big Panzer Dragoon fans. We played them a lot on the Sega Saturn, from the first one, the second, and Panzer Dragoon Saga. What was your inspiration to bring back Panzer Dragoon?
It's a very long story, in fact, because 3 years ago, we started working on IPs, and we started with Square Enix IPs, with Fear Effect, in fact. And we liked it, and we said, okay, I think there are a lot of great IPs which are available. We didn't have any new episode, which are basically dead, or maybe not dead, but not in very good shape. So which one do we want to do? And immediately, with my associate, Zbigniew, we said, okay, we want to make Panzer Dragoon. So let's try to contact Sega. Let's try to convince them. And we contacted them. It took a lot of time because it's Japan and a lot of things take a lot of time. But we managed to do it. And then we made a pitch for them. And once we sent the pitch, it was rather fast to have an agreement and to start working on the project. So it was great. But yeah, the main idea is, the question we asked to ourselves is, which IP do I want to work on? And it was Panzer Dragoon for sure. And I think it was a bet because we didn't know if the community was still big or very small, etc. But we took the bet, and I think we were right, because the community is in fact still huge and very, very nice. So, and we are very happy with the game and with the feedback we have from the community, etc. So it's great.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, there's a very passionate fan base for Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah. I mean, passionate and positive, which is not always the case, because you have, I worked on a lot of different IPs, and you have sometimes some IPs where the community is a bit, how to say that, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I mean, when you work on an IP, it's not your game. It's not, you're not creating your game. You're working on someone else's game, and you're not. I'm not sure I know Panzer Dragoon more than you do. So it's sometimes difficult. But the community for Panzer Dragoon is very, very nice, and it's very, very cool to work with them.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, let me see what I got here. You got
I was gonna say, what's the biggest challenge that you had working with, working on?
Definitely, the biggest challenge was to stay true to the original Panzer Dragoon in a lot of extremely small details. Mm-hmm. For example, when we made the first version of the game, the laser, when you shoot, mm-hmm. were going straight to the target, But in Panzer Dragoon, if you can see that the lasers are going around and then to the target, and it looks like nothing, but it's extremely important. And we are very, very lucky because we managed to meet the former team of Panzer Dragoon, so the former Andromeda studio. Most of them, I mean, almost all of them. And we showed them the game early in the development. And we had this kind of feedback, and it's extremely important. And I'm thankful we got it, because if we didn't have this feedback, I think the game would not be a Panzer Dragoon. But thanks to their work and the fact that they played, gave us advices extra, I think the game will look exactly like a Panzer Dragoon in HD or in, yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That sounds interesting.
That's exciting.
Man. That's good to know that, you put so much detail and, and passion into, trying to make the original IP.
Yeah. In fact, when we had the feedback from the original team, we were surprised, because it was not about you're doing a big thing wrong. No, it was extremely small details, but the amount of details was very big. Mm-hmm. And yeah, after 6 or 9 months of working only on these details, I can say, of course, these details makes everything. In fact, it's extremely important.
Wow.
I've seen the remasters that they came out with for like PlayStation 2 and stuff like that took the original Saturn one and kind of.
It's more like a porting, I think, on PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so they just kind of polished it up to be like, higher definition and stuff like that. This is a complete remake of it.
Absolutely complete. It's from scratch. So we restart. We redo everything from 3D models to development. We do it in Unity, so it was not the case obviously 25 years ago. It's a real remake. It's not porting. It's a real remake from scratch.
Okay, awesome.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
that's very exciting.
That's gonna look great.
Yeah, I'm very, very charged for it. Does anybody else have one before I go?
I do.
Oh, go for it.
Was there a multiplayer option ever talked about, discussed, or that could be implemented into the game?
Not at all. It's multiplayer is extremely complicated, extremely problematic, and in fact, one of the most important things for it is not to reinvent. I don't know if the word is correct. Reinvent anything. And if you do multiplayer in such a game, you will have to invent or to guess a lot of things in the gameplay that we didn't want to do it. So we made some improvements in the gameplay. Not improvements in the gameplay. In terms of features, we made few new features. I cannot speak a lot about it, but we made some new features, but nothing that changed the gameplay of the game. It's extremely important for us.
Okay.
Awesome.
So the only multiplayer they could add is like a Nintendo multiplayer where one person controls the cursor and one person controls the dragon.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. That's like the fake multiplayer that a lot of them do.
But, okay, maybe I can say one thing. We improved the way the player scores and play the game to make a high score. So it's a kind of multiplayer but it's not real time. But if you want to show your friends that you're better than him, you can show him your score. That's the only.
We do that all the time here.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. This is kind of a 2-part question, and this is something I've been dying to know for a long time. When I first heard about Panzer Dragoon Remake, I remember the article I was reading mentioned Part 1 and Part 2. Now, is there plans to have Part 2 if this one is successful? And also, what about Panzer Dragoon Saga?
Okay, so it's really two parts. First, you will have Panzer Dragoon Zwei, no matter success or not, even if we wish to have some success, of course, and we think that we have everything to have big success with Panzer Dragoon. You will have Spy. Yes. It's part of our agreement with Sega, awesome. And we announced that. We didn't show anything, but because we are focused on Panzer Dragoon, but soon you will get some news. You will get some news. So Zwei is for sure. Saga, we have no plan. I don't think Sega has planned, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. In fact, one thing is sure is Sega is extremely checking the community and checking the feedback from the community, etc. And if that's something everyone wants, and if they find a good studio, good partner, good conditions, I'm sure they will do something. But I think first let's see how Panzer Dragoon 1 and 2 performs, and how the community reacts to it, and after we can imagine anything if everything goes well.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Definitely. The I mean, 18 months ago the game, the IP was dead, and it's not the case anymore. So everything is open.
Ooh. I think a lot of people are gonna like that answer.
Yeah, I didn't say that we will do anything or.
But there's hope. Any hope is better than a complete no, you know?
Best way to continue to hope is supporting the game, buying it when it's released, and I'm sure Sega will be extremely careful.
You hear that, everybody? Support the game, and your dreams will come true. Damn it, make it happen.
So the biggest thing I heard about why Panzer Dragoon Saga hasn't been remade, or anything has happened with that, is because that the source code went missing or something like that. I don't know if that story is actually true, but if you were to make something from the ground up, do you need the source code from the original game to work with, or would you just start from absolutely nothing and be able to try and do it like they did?
For a game such as Saga, it's always doable without any source code, for sure. You just have to have very, very good game designers, very, very patient, because you have to. I mean, I worked on Fear Effect without any source code, remake it without any source code, and it means your game designer has to try everything and not down everything. Try to guess the statistics of the character style. It's difficult already in Fear Effect. I cannot imagine how difficult it could be for Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is an RPG for those who don't know. So it's possible. It's complicated, but it's possible. Anyway, I think the former project director from Panzer Dragoon said that the source code is not lost. During last GDC talk, I think, if the game has to be done, it will be done anyway. If we or someone has the source code, it will be better and simpler. But if the source code is lost or not, it's not possible to get it. It will be doable anyway.
Wow.
Awesome.
So the rumors are false.
That game is so expensive.
Rumors?
Rumors about the source code being lost.
I think that I may be wrong, but I think the project director said that the source code were available during last GDC, but I have to check it.
Okay.
But that game, I mean, collectors be angry if that does come back, because that game is just so much money to get now, and it's so rare.
Yeah.
But if it was to happen, a lot of Panzer Dragoon fans would be
the community would go crazy,
very happy.
The community would go insane if they came.
Show your support by buying this one, buying Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon 2, whenever that happens.
I'm definitely getting both. Oh, will they have physical copies?
What did we announce? I think we soft announced that something is going to be released.
Okay.
Or you can just let me get one. That's fine. I'll just take one, and that's fine.
The feedback we had from community. To be honest, at the beginning, I'm not sure we planned to make any physical release, but the feedback was so good, and there were so many people wanting to get a physical release that we worked in this direction. So we will be able to announce more in a few weeks, I think. But I think my associates announced during a very small press conference that something was on the tracks.
Oh, nice.
I think I did see that there was an announcement for a physical. I don't know how many, or like a limited run, but there was an announcement
I need a physical of that.
I would assume it'd be
physical.
limited.
Yeah, I need a physical of that.
How about a collector's edition?
That's good. That's a good idea.
Yeah, why not? Of course, a lot of people want a collector edition. What do you have to know if we and Sega are very open to what the community ask and request. So if you or your community wants something like collector edition, physical edition, the best way is to say it on Twitter, say it on the Discord channels, etc. And we are extremely careful. Sega is extremely picky and loves its community. So yeah, it's the best way is to say it loud, and then probably you will get it. And for collector edition, I can't say more. I'd love to say more, and I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, you hear that? Say it in the comments.
Say it in the comments. Say it on Twitter. Put it in caps, bold.
Say it everywhere.
Let them know
Yeah,
what y'all
man.
want.
That's true. That's what I do. I do that all the time, man.
Yeah,
I'm the
why-
most annoying person on Twitter. Everything that I want, I scream it to the mountaintops, and everyone knows what I want.
Well,
you know
yeah.
what I want.
Say it. Just say it.
All right.
Get out of your system.
So, all right.
Wait, not yet, not
Okay,
yet,
all right.
not
I'll
yet.
wait for that question.
Well, actually,
that'll be like my last
I have
question.
a question that's not about. I'm not about the game at all. Actually, I want to know more about you. And how did you get into your position?
Yeah, it's long story, but not very complicated. I was developer. Okay, I loved video games, so I started to work as developer in video game companies, and then I became project director on some very small and obscure video games. And one day I said, I want to create my own company and run my own company to create video games. So I created a video game studio 11 years ago.
Ooh.
And we worked on various games. And 1 year and a half ago, I had the opportunity to make TA, to switch from game development to game producing. And I was extremely interested. So I switched with my associate, and that's exactly how we do it. And we are all just fans of video games, and maybe the difference is that we, for example, when we want to work on an IP like Panzer Dragoon, we don't say, oh, okay, it's probably impossible. We try, and sometimes it works. And we contacted like dozens of IP owners to pitch dozens of projects, and that didn't work, or not yet. And Panzer Dragoon worked. It's cool because it was one of our favorite projects and pitch ID. So, but that's, I think, the only difference. We do things. We try to do things always.
That's awesome.
Okay. So I got a story about Panzer Dragoon that I can throw you out real quick.
Okay.
So, way back in the day, when Saturn was just a Japanese console and it wasn't available in America yet, me and my boys went out and rented the system. And there were 3 titles available that we got. It was Virtual Fighter, which was the very first one that they made for Saturn, which was not a great representation of what that game really was. That's why they had a remix for it. And a Stall, which was awesome.
I saw it was dope.
And Panzer Dragoon. So these are all Japanese titles, so the language and stuff wasn't really, we didn't know what was going on. But the art and the music of that game really blew us away. And that was definitely a standout title that actually made Saturn as a system. So without that, I don't know what would have been going on with that, because they didn't have many things as their release titles.
Their best titles was towards the end of their end of their lifespan.
But that was the life force behind people wanting to get a Saturn.
Absolutely.
So definitely was the way I wanted to go with that one. So that it's amazing to hear that it's being remade, because with that type of music, the art was unique. So that type of style always looks great. And Saturn wasn't the best at graphics, but it still had its own unique style.
Yeah.
And that stands out even to this day, with no matter what the graphics are on the system. And that's always going to stand out because nothing looks like a Panzer title.
Yeah.
But the music alone, that's the thing that never ages.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful no matter what.
Absolutely.
And you said you worked on getting that done. was it a remix of the music, or is it the straight up tracks from there, or is there a choice between the two on the title itself?
It's one of the hardest questions because since months I want to speak about the music, but I can't. So what I say always, and I will say it to you also, we try to do our best to please the fans, and we know that the music is extremely important in Panzer Dragoon, so we did our best, but I cannot say anything else yet.
Okay.
All right.
I respect that.
Yeah.
But I got that. Anyone else have?
I have a small question before I get into my big question.
I have another question too after that.
Okay, cool. What was the video game that got you into video games?
Great question.
I know.
In fact, to be extremely honest, when I was a kid, I had first I was a Nintendo kid. Sorry about that.
I know. I'm a Nintendo guy too.
guy.
Yeah, we like Nintendo.
Yeah.
The problem with Sega consoles back then, speaking back then, is that they were like top devices, extremely expensive, and it was for very hardcore gamer and very adult also. Much more than Nintendo, I think. So my parents allowed me to get a Nintendo, but not a Sega. So, but when I was very young, I had the NES, Nintendo NES. Okay. I don't know the name in United States, but it's NES in France.
Same.
And I played probably too much. And my parents said, "Okay, no more video games, ever." I stopped video games when I was like 8, and I restarted when I was 18.
Wow.
For 10 years, I didn't play any video game. But when I was 18, I left my house and go live in my own apartment, and I bought all the video games you can buy with your first salary. It was crazy. And I think it was extremely important period of my life because I discovered all the video games, and I had a lot of new emotions, even for games released like 5-10 years ago. But I think the biggest thing at this time, it was the JRPGs. For me, it was huge to discover such big worlds where you can do anything you want, etc. So, to answer your question, I think Final Fantasy VI is extremely important for me. But I have a lot of different great experiences, like Chrono Cross is my favorite game ever. But I think playing Final Fantasy VI, I was like, okay, I want to do this thing. I never did the Final Fantasy VI. I think back then they were pure genius. But all the creators in the 90s in Japan were absolutely genius. Panzer Dragoon creators were and still are absolutely genius. When you see Panzer Dragoon World, it's really amazing. I'm not sure you can find this kind of world, this kind of universe stories in game in recent games. But yeah, Panzer Dragoon is extremely important. Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, Chrono Cross. It's this kind of experience I want to bring today to players.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So you worked with Square. So that Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy 6 / that can happen, right? Imagine a remake of that. That's ridiculous.
What do you think of the remake of Final Fantasy 7 that's coming out?
It's I think it's complicated. I think it's for example, if they ask me, of course they will never ask me. But if they ask me to do it, I think I said no.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Of course, I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest, because it's not going to be the game I used to play. Sure, but in the same time, did they have the choice to make something different? No. If they release the same game with just HD graphics, I think there will be a lot of disappointed gamers already. So I don't know if there is a good solution. I will buy it day one, of course. Maybe we will have a good surprise. Let's see. I was amazed by the last trailer. The last trailer is great, absolutely great. I think you all saw it. with Cloud in disguise in woman. It's great. So maybe something will happen, and maybe we'll be extremely happy. But it will not be Final Fantasy VII we knew.
No, they added a lot.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's a new game.
Yeah,
It's a completely new game.
It's definitely.
It's like what they did with what is it, Resident Evil 2?
Yeah.
The remake?
Yeah.
Like that was.
That's
It's for
But
a
to
new
extreme,
generation.
yeah. This is a little more extreme, but it's like on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 had the same feel. This one looks just as a completely different.
If they made Resident Evil's chapters 40 hours each,
Yeah.
and then added new story in
that's-
between, then it would be more like
it's a new
what they
game.
did.
It's pretty much a new game for everybody. Anybody else?
I have another one. So
Yeah.
fans can be very particular about choices being made when it comes to the remake, like you said. How do you deal with the fan base about their feedback, and what do you consider changing if they say anything? So I saw like a couple of months ago, there were a couple of fans talking about the colors used on certain stages and the water and the sky and stuff like that. How do you take that feedback, and what do you do with it?
So first, it's extremely important for us. Extremely important. We made 3 things, in fact. First, we opened the Discord channel, open for any fan of the IP, and any fan can come here and tell us what they think, what they want, etc. And we try to, every week, we try to send to the dev team ideas, feedbacks, etc. And honestly, we have one person full-time on the Discord trying to reply, etc. So it's a lot of work, but it's extremely important. Second, we show the game on different conventions, including Gamescom on the Nintendo booth. And we gather feedback when they were playing. So it's extremely important also. And the feedbacks were extremely good at during the Gamescom. And we showed it also during TGS and several other conventions. And third, we choose a small pool of players, and we send them pictures or videos of the game under NDA and ask them for feedback. So we have more direct feedback with few selected players. So I think it's much more than most of the video game studio are doing for their community. And after that, we had a lot of new ideas for features, and there are few features in the game put after the players' feedbacks. And for example, for the colors, it's extremely important. We had discussions, and at the end, we decided something. Okay, I won't spoil you, but we decided to change a little, but not like some pictures I saw on Twitter, etc. Okay, and it's important that at some point we say, okay, we go in this direction, and we try to keep this direction, even if you will have some people disappointed. It's our direction. It's of course validated by Sega, because Sega has the last word on every point of the game, of course. But we try to please everyone, but sometimes we have to take decision, and we hope the decision will please most of the fans.
Yeah, okay. Because most of the time you got to do, you can't please everybody with any decision you make, but you have to make the one that's going to do the game the best. So
everyone's a critic, everyone,
especially
even though, especially nowadays with social media, everyone's going to be like, oh no, this and that. It's like, you're the creator. It's like, nah, I'm going to go this direction, and that's the way it is,
Yeah, you're right. And what fans have to understand is that they are extremely important, but also the former team is extremely important. It's their baby or their so we want to respect what they say, and Sega has his own ideas and opinion on the change, and the Megapixel, the development studio in Poland, has some ideas, and so it's a mix of a lot of different people putting their ideas together to try to make the best game possible. But of course, probably some people will be disappointed, but it will be our decision, and let's see what will happen.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
Panzer Dragoon Orta was recently made available on the Game Pass for Xbox One.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Have you
forgot
played
about
that title? And what do you think of Orta?
I played it, of course. I liked it, really. I liked it. I think the thing is that it was not as new and as revolutionary as the Panzer Dragoon 1 was back then. And there were some changes also in the game but we met the former team for Horta, and we discussed that with them, and they said exactly what I said. They said, okay, some people were disappointed by some choices we made, but it was our choice. It was our vision of the game at this point. So we do it, and the game has been released. It has sold, and now it's still selling because I see a lot of people speaking about it being on the Game Pass. So I think they made exactly what they wanted at some points. So it's of course it's not as revolutionary as Panzer Dragoon 1, of course, but it's great for the time being.
All right. So Panzer Dragoon Collection 1, 2, 3, and 4 coming soon. Wishful thinking.
I was thinking about 1 and 5. That's all.
That's fine. That's definitely that's great. If Sega came to you and said, we'd like a new Panzer Dragoon title from scratch, not a remake or anything.
Like a sequel.
Like a new version, a new game. What would you say to something like that?
The answer would have been probably different if it was before 1 and 5 remake or after. But I say let's pitch something. Let's pitch something and let's involve the former team, because that's exactly when with my video game studio I created Fear Effect Sedna, which is a sequel to Fear Effect IP. We involved the original writer of the game, because for me, when you work on an IP, having at least a small part of the original team is absolutely necessary. That's something I really, really need. Honestly, I don't feel extremely comfortable working on existing IP because it's not our game. It's someone else's game that we try to understand and mimic or reproduce, etc. So having part of the original team is extremely important. So if Sega has something like this, we go probably for a pitch, including the original part of the original team.
Okay.
I have a quick question. I actually just thought of. I saw an article a few days ago saying that Panzer Dragoon Remake was going to be coming out on the Stadia, or they signed a timed exclusive. It's
true. Stadia announced it without really asking us if they can announce.
I thought it was weird too. I just wanted to confirm though.
But so it will be on Stadia. But there is no time exclusivity or no. I can't say more, but it's. I don't even know if it's going to be released in the same time as the console version, but it will not be because of the contract. It will be more because of the porting time, But maybe I really don't know. Maybe Stadia will be first, and then a few days later console. I really don't know. But we have no exclusivity, no time exclusivity. It's just different platforms. We want people to be able to play it on as much platform as they can.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question from. It's usually 5 of us. Turbo857 isn't here, but he did leave a question for me to ask. He says, will Panzer Dragoon Remake take advantage of any unique features of the Joy-Con motion-controlled aiming from the Switch?
So I don't know if I can tell you something about that, but I can tell you that it was one of the most important requests from the community on the Discord channel. And as you know, we try to please the community as much as we can, so we try to do something like this.
Okay.
I like the answer.
I
like how he can't say, but
But we're listening. That's what he's saying.
And he's smiling, so I can tell.
That's good, though.
Of course, the Switch is so great including this I don't know the word in English, but of course we want to use it. We want to use it.
Okay.
So we are doing our best to use it.
All right. So if it works, then it might be in
Yo,
there.
Turbo's gonna be happy regardless. It's like, ooh, motion controls. He loves his motion controls. I have my big question. All right.
I'm done with Panzer questions.
Okay. Well, this is slightly Panzer. Okay, so we've had multiple podcasts on here with topics about old Sega IPs because we're in love with old Sega IPs. Obviously, Panzer being one of them, Skies of Arcadia, and all these other IPs. I got a custom shirt made. Usually on it, not this one, obviously, but on various podcasts, I'm a huge Shining Force guy. I'm a huge Shining Force fan, and Shining Force 3 is still my favorite role-playing game all time. Is there any hope, or do you guys have any old Sega IPs that you might want to work on in the future, such as Shining Force or Dragon Force or any of those games in the future, or is that just not going to happen, and I should probably start crying right now?
No, first, it's not because it's not gonna happen with us that it's gonna happen at all. Because as you probably know, Street of Rage is going to be not rebooted, but the sequel is in development in France, and it's not by us at all. So I know that Sega, and that's very, very cool thing with Sega, they trust small studios, indie studios, like they did for Sonic. What the name?
Mania.
Sonic Mania.
Yeah, Sonic Mania. Sorry. And so they trust small studios, and they are able to give their IPs to small studios. So it's extremely open. For us, we have no plan currently for this IP, especially because we already have 2 IPs on the on the launchpad with Sega. So
what are those IPs?
but I think if Sega hears about the community wants something in the Shining IP, they will be open. Maybe create your own studio and go pitch them. I can contact.
Well, I had an idea of setting up a conference call. Sega, you, me, and we could all talk about Shining Force 3 and get this to happen.
Yeah, you know the
I'm
best.
very convincing, you know.
The best thing working with Sega is sometimes you need to meet them, so you have to go to Tokyo, and that's great.
I'm booking my flight right now. Hold on a second.
Wait a few
talk
months.
about Burning
Wait a
Rangers.
few months. Don't go over there yet.
All right.
Then we can talk about Burning Rangers.
No, that's not
Rocket
important.
Knight.
Really.
No,
not
Burning
yet.
Rangers, man.
Not
another
yet.
one
Yo,
that's
there's
nice.
so many IPs,
There
man,
are a
that
lot of
Sega
IPs.
has that they're so awesome. They're like the best games. Legend of Oasis, like I mean, come on, dude. Like there's so many.
Outrun.
Now
There's
we
a lot
don't
of
need,
games
we
I
don't
know
need
you're
Outrun. We
talking
good. We've got like 5 of them already, man.
There's a lot of dead franchises that Sega has just left on the wayside that people want to see.
Ben, is there any other Sega IP that you look at and you're like, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing a game, a remake or a sequel to this one day?
Honestly, there is no discussion. So I will give you some names, but it's not something we are speaking about. It's just
Of course. Yeah.
I love the as JRPG fan. I think you have an IP that you mentioned just before.
Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, of course. It's extremely big, and our studio it's not very big today. So I think this project is a little bigger, too big for us. But Skies of Arcadia is great. It's rare, so it's hard to find. Even worse, I think on GameCube. I have it here. So yeah, I like it. I like the Shining Force. Also, and I love the Legend of Oasis.
Yeah,
It was great. No, that's the Sega game I love. That it doesn't mean I'm working on it at all.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not going to
all the
start any
wish
rumors.
list.
I'm not going to start any rumors.
There's our wish list.
So-
You know.
What do you think of Phantasy Star?
It was great.
Oh, you like Phantasy Star?
I think the last one was online.
Yeah, last couple have been
The
online.
last actual one
Dreamcast.
was 4.
4
for
on Genesis. Yeah, the last actual Phantasy Star was part 4 on Genesis. But after that, it's just been online 1 and online 2.
And there is,
Monster Hunter type.
I think there is a mobile game, right?
Probably.
It's the online stuff still.
Yeah,
There's
it's still
nothing of the
online
real
theme.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
have all
the
the
thing is, if there is sometimes, for example, Langrisser or something.
Yeah, Langrisser, yep.
Langrisser. It may look like a dead IP, but it's not, because they have a mobile game running. So it's not dead IP. So it's much more difficult for studios like us to speak about IPs with a game currently in working. So
Yeah. All right.
What was I gonna say? Oh, all right. So, if you had your choice of any game that you'd like to remake from any publisher, what would that be?
It's complicated because of course I want to say you some titles I love, but I'm not sure it's good. For example, Chrono Cross would be absolutely great, but do we want a Chrono Cross remake? Does the player want a Chrono Cross remake? Not really sure. I think
Even a Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger. Yeah, more
sequel.
Chrono Trigger. I've been hearing, yeah.
Trigger, it's even more complicated because it was so perfect. The pixel art was so perfect that it's. What do you want? You want a 3D Chrono Trigger?
They want Chrono Break. Remember
Chrono
that?
Break.
Yeah.
Chrono Break. No, it's complicated. It's complicated. For example, one of my favorite game ever is Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh.
And I can't wait the remake that's going to be released on Switch in a few weeks. I'm shaking, especially because they made a smart remake, because they are adding. You know that in Xenoblade Chronicles there were a huge area finished, but not reachable in the game. And they will add it in the remake, so it's absolutely great. So maybe something like this, like taking one of my favorite game, remaking it and adding some contents would be great. Yeah, but of Chrono, it's my favorite IP ever. But do we want something new in the Chrono IP? I mean, new, yes, probably, but a remake, not sure.
Yeah, the music in Chrono Cross is amazing too.
No, they're great. Both games are great soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
Really good soundtracks.
Yeah, no, early Square games, like, you can't top that.
Really, really top notch. Anybody else before my last final question?
Well, I mean, I have other questions about.
Oh no, go.
So
yeah, go.
the other IPs you're working on, you said Fear Effect, and well, the ones that you can talk about, like, Fear Effect. I remember playing that. That had a very unique art style, also back in the day. It had the comic book art style. You worked on the remake for, what was it for again?
For what you mean, in terms of platform or?
The platform that it was on.
We are doing it on. I don't think we announced any platform, but it's going to be released on all consoles basically.
Okay.
And it's Fear Effect 1, so because there were 2 episodes in Fear Effect.
Yes, there was. Is that a remake of that one, or is this a new sequel?
It's a remake of the first one, which is basically the second one.
Oh, okay.
It's Fear Effect. So.
And what was the other title that you were working on?
It's House of the Dead.
House of the Dead. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
So, but we soft announced it because Forever is a stock exchange company, so we have to announce big events for us. So we soft announced House of the Dead, but we didn't show anything and we didn't say anything. You will get some news soon.
Okay.
That gives me another question. House of the Dead, super popular arcade game, and Panzer Dragoon. Have you guys ever considered maybe releasing them in the arcade? Maybe a limited run?
Like, you mean the box?
Yeah, like an arcade game, like, how they do Dave and Buster's over here, like the old school arcade, and you just take them and people like actually sit on. Or
I can't say more about House of the Dead currently, but that's definitely the kind of feedback we want to hear, and if that's something the community wants, we will fight, because for such things like physical copies of the game or stuff like this, we have to find partners. We don't do ourselves physical release at all. So we have to find partners, and partners start to be interested if they see that the community is interested in their product. So if you want something like this, you have to say it, and then we go to see partners. So look, someone says they want an arcade box of the. That's how it works, in fact.
Okay.
I miss the light gun game genre.
Well, House of the Dead,
and that's
I was
why.
going to say,
Yeah.
is a light gun game.
Yeah, I miss that genre.
So in this age of HD TVs and flat screens, how would a House of the Dead be remade now?
It's a challenge. But we already have some ideas, and when we will be able to say more, I think you'll like the solutions we found.
Okay.
Nice.
So you like that? I tried
can't wait.
to get the answer.
He tried to disguise it a little bit to try to like. Try to
Because
be
a lot
slick.
of people want light gun games.
Yeah, I missed that whole
somehow.
thing, man. Oh.
So if there's a way that's possible, and working on something.
But you know,
so that's gonna be-
before being just some kind of businessman in the video game industry, we are players. So what you said is exactly the first thing when we thought about House of the Dead was immediately okay, but you have to play it with a gun. So we love to play it with a gun. So how do we do it? And then we start to answer the question.
Okay.
PlayStation Move.
Yeah, keep the voice actors
You
too.
got the.
Yeah, keep the. You got. If you want to get new voice actors for House of the Dead, that's fine. But you got to keep the old voices in there too. 'cause
Yes, the old
that's
voice acting.
classically bad.
Yes.
That's
I love it.
memeable, man. You got to keep it. If possible.
I think we'll be able to get it from Sega, but after we have a question of rights. The actors sign.
If possible.
Yeah.
But if that's something the community wants, once again, we do our best to contact the actors and say, okay, can you give us the right for this episode 2, etc.
I'll do it for half price. If you can't find the actor, I'll do it for half
Okay.
price.
Sounds like a
I'll do it for free.
I'll knock that out in like 10 minutes.
As long as they do it in that cheesy factor,
Oh, it's easy, dude.
then it's fine.
Oh, that's easy work. I'll do that in a second.
But if you got some good actors, that would be kind of weird, but interesting also.
It put a serious note on it, but I like the cheesy, funny version.
I think it's one of the most important part of the game.
It's hilarious. It's so funny.
The charm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
When should we expect to see Panzer Dragoon Remake?
So currently the release date is this winter, and this winter is in progress. But spring is coming.
Yeah, we only got like 4 weeks left in winter.
Yeah. So it could be out in 4 weeks. You don't know.
No, to be honest, I can't say more. But we say this winter. It's going to be this winter, and not a lot of time remaining in the winter. So
So soon.
Winter technically ends like March 20th, right?
Something
I
like
think
that.
so.
March 21st, I think, is the spring.
I think my dev studio said winter ends June 15, something.
We have had climate change.
Yeah, but the climate's been weird, so I
Thank
don't
global
know.
warming for that.
Yeah, some of the seasons have been extending, so I guess we don't.
That makes sense.
Wondering if they don't want to trick me or something. I don't know.
So what you're saying is no foreseeable delay on the title. So that's always good news to hear.
No, that's not today. No, it's we are closer than ever.
All right.
That's awesome.
So Panzer Dragoon has gone gold, folks.
Yeah,
It's happening.
Can't announce that. No.
Looking forward to it.
I'm very excited for it, man. I'm a Sega guy. And,
Whenever it
I
comes
love
out.
all those Sega IPs, and I'm gonna support all those Sega IPs.
Yeah, you definitely got some customers here. So
Yeah,
Great, thanks.
So awesome.
absolutely. Before we wrap it up, do you have any questions for us?
I should have think about it, but yes. And for you, what is the IP you want us to revive?
Shining
you
Force,
know what he's-
easily.
yeah.
Shining Force.
The other.
our fan base knows exactly what he's going
Shining Force, Dragon Force, Legend of Oasis, Burning Rangers,
Guardian Heroes.
Guardian Heroes.
I'm probably the only one.
I
that
could
wants-
send you a list if you want. If you don't, I will send them right now.
Nobody's
probably
speaking
the
about
only one-
Space Area.
Space Harrier.
Space
That's
Harrier
actually a
is
good
the-
one too. Yeah,
That's a good
Space
one.
Harrier also. Yeah, absolutely. All of those Sega IPs. I feel like I'm forgetting
Well,
one.
we're
What
talking about light gun games. I was thinking of Virtual Cop. I want to see that.
But
Probably
I
the only
think
one
there
who
are
wants to see
still
it.
some arcade games released on the Virtua Cop IP.
Oh yeah.
I think so, but in the same time, there was a new arcade game for House of the Dead like 1 year ago, something like this. So it's splitted, in fact, arcade games and console games at Sega.
There was Overkill, which was out of this world.
Overkill.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
For
Yes,
the
yes.
Wii U, right? Or
Yes,
was it the Wii?
yes. It was for the Wii.
For the Wii. Yeah.
For the original Wii and PlayStation.
My House of the Dead 1 and 2 were also released on the Wii
Exactly. Yeah.
with some kind of plastic guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had it for the
Yeah, they put the thing on, and
yeah.
I got him.
you had an IP, didn't you?
Yeah, 2 actually. Rocket Knight from Sega Genesis
that.
and Kid Chameleon.
Kid
Oh,
Chameleon,
wow.
Really?
Oh, okay.
you
Wow,
did.
that's a throwback there.
That's definitely a
Super throwback.
throwback. That's a big
I've
throwback.
got
That's
one.
random.
I got one.
Okay.
This is even older than that.
Oh, okay.
So over there, it's probably for the Mark III, but it's that's different.
Who's gonna say Techno Cop?
Well, over here it's Sega Master System. So no, I'm gonna say Zillion, anime-based Zillion, based off that property.
I could support that.
I would love to see
I
that
can
game
support
now,
that,
and
yeah.
it's very simple. It's very simple. Or
Yeah.
another one would be Maniac Mansion, which is not Sega, obviously, but
I'm disappointed
but
you didn't say
seeing
your
that
favorite.
over.
Wow.
Alex Kidd.
I don't want to see a remake of that.
No, like a
I
new
want it
one?
to be the original. That's fine. Leave Alex Kidd as original as possible. I don't want to see a remake. of it.
Oh, what about Vector Man?
Controls.
Wow. Comic
That's
Zone.
you can have your own IPs. That's fine.
Comic Zone.
Those are all great. Those are all
Comic Zone.
great.
I want to
So,
see.
Sega has so many, man.
Yeah, you're right. And not using them all, so it's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
I would say first on the list has to be Shining Force. Has to get done as soon as possible.
First for your list.
No, for everyone's list, it has to be
list.
Shining
Your
Force.
list.
Shining Force 3 is one of the best strategy, actually the best strategy role-playing game ever made. Invite me on that.
I think
And I'm happy.
in the IPs Sega is not using anymore, I think it's one of the best sellers Shining Force currently.
Yeah, they're not doing anything with it, right? It's just like sitting there.
After there also may be some projects I don't know. In fact, last week I was speaking with some IP owners about very nice IP, and he told me that something was on the track with someone else. I was like,
Is this? Can we get this someone else on the podcast? Perhaps. Can you hook that up? Maybe we could ask him ourselves.
I'm not sure he will be happy that I said it. So no.
Well, it's good to know that it's on the radar.
Something
Something
maybe.
on the radio.
You know that IP owners currently are very, very interested in working with external studios. So you have a lot of projects ongoing, and I think you can expect some announcement in the coming months for a lot of different old IPs. Really, it's great to be a gamer. I think really it's a very good time to be a 30, 40 years old gamer today. You know.
I'm patiently waiting for some announcements, and I'm waiting for that moment my head just explodes.
The fact that 3-part story only has one part in America is what's the tragedy.
That is complete. That's probably the most tragic thing I've ever seen happen to a great game like
Especially when people won big titles.
Yeah.
Like that's a title that has it already made.
It
It's
says-
already translated.
It
Yeah.
says
It's
so
done.
much that people love the franchise so much that they play it in Japanese.
Yeah.
Especially with Three Houses.
Yeah.
With Fire Emblem being as popular as it is now.
Yeah, strategy
you think
role-playing games have been making a comeback
Yeah.
from Valkyria Chronicles to
beat 'em ups to come back to.
Fire Emblem.
Fire
You know,
Emblem
like
is
they're
huge.
all it's back. You know that genre is back, and now is the time to come out with it.
Exactly.
Everything
You
is
know,
set for
I'm
shooters.
working on my own strategy RPG called Rise Eterna as a writer in the game. So if you want to check it, you can check it. It's like our idea was to start to make something close to Fire Emblem on GBA because we miss the Fire Emblem with great pixel art. And I love the Fire Emblems with 3D extra, but Sacred Stone is the best strategy game I played, I think.
Oh, Sacred Stone, really?
Stone.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. That definitely was. I always wanted to see that remade. My favorite Fire Emblem, and even though I love Three Houses, I'm gonna say Radiant Dawn. I love Radiant Dawn.
Radiant, really?
I love the characters. I love the characters in that game so much.
Mm-hmm.
They were pretty cool. The designs and all that stuff. The pacing of the story. I also like the fact that it was an extension of Path of Radiance. It's like a sequel. you know, and it's like two in the same and stuff like that. So yeah, but Sacred Stones, if they remade that, oh my god.
No, I did. It's not a remake. We are making. Okay. No, but we try to bring back that feeling, because it's impossible to remake Fire Emblem. It's not dead at all, and they are remaking by themselves. Intelligent System is remaking by themselves, and I think they will not remake Sacred Stone because do we need a 3D remake of Sacred Stone?
Yes.
When you look at when you look at the pixel art animation, it's great. You cannot do something better than this, really. But try to check Rise Eterna. It's we try to capture the vibes of Fire Emblem Sacred Stone.
Rise.
Is that out now?
Yeah, where can we find
No,
it?
it's in development currently.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I'll
I'm a
keep
bit
an eye
late
out.
in delivering the story.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm looking it up right now as we speak.
Well, in
And
that
it's
case,
what is it coming out for? It's coming out for a Switch?
For Switch.
Switch? Nice.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the system to come out for, man.
Rise Eternal.
If you could let us know when it gets close to release, to give us a heads up, because we have another show called Indie eShop Recap. If you have a trailer, we actually do a live reaction of a.
Great, I can tell it to you because we already have a trailer, and I think we.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'd love to take.
Great.
We're gonna check it out, do a live reaction, and let you
Great.
guys know.
Thanks you very much.
what we
Thank you.
think. Yeah.
So tell everybody how to find you if you like.
So you can find me on Twitter. It's Anseaume or TA Publishing.
Okay.
So TA Publishing is the account of the company, and if some of your viewers are developers, you can send me your games. We can help you finish the games. We can publish the game for you. We love to work with indie developers, with students, and we have great results. So it's also great because IP is not the only thing we do. We also publish a lot of indie games, and we love indie games. Really, games made by 1, 2 people, 5 people, in great 2D with innovative gameplay. It's what I really love.
That's awesome. You hear that, folks?
That's great.
If you have a game out there, you need somebody, go to
Yeah,
this
send it to me.
Send it to them.
Gotcha.
Also for the future, Ben, if by any means you have a big announcement of any kind of game that you're coming out with, especially like a Panzer Dragoon Saga or Shining Force 3, by all means, come back on the show, and I want to be the first to hear that announcement. We have to be the first. If you have that big announcement to let everybody know, you have to come back on Level 857 podcast.
I pushed a lot to have a big announcement for today, but it's complicated. But one day, for sure.
Oh,
For sure.
Oh, is there something you're holding back right now? Do you want to announce something? But
No, I don't
We're
know
not
the
gonna get
release
you in
date.
trouble.
The release date is still winter for me.
okay.
That's fine. That's good enough.
That's good enough.
That's a big
That's good
enough announcement.
We'll just have to take that.
Yeah.
So know that's still the announcement is fine.
Yeah, it's still the
Yeah.
announcement.
No, but
So that
All right,
actual day though.
I will contact you and I will give you some nice information as soon as I can.
All right. I'm sure
I
the fan
appreciate
base
that.
is definitely going to appreciate that as we will too. So.
Hey, any information the Panzer Dragoon community can get, they'll love it. You know, they love hearing that stuff, and I'm included in that community, so I'm very, very excited. Definitely to have you on. I was very excited when you said you'll do the podcast. I'm like, yes, we finally get a Panzer Dragoon lover of this game, and he's creating the remake. God bless it. God bless it.
So awesome.
Yeah, same here, man. Thank you so much for.
Thank you
being
for
on
your
the
invitation.
podcast.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
Thank you for
Ben.
your time. We appreciate it.
Enough
Be
said.
good, sir.
All right.
You have a good
Take
one.
care.
Looking forward to that announcement. That was half fanboyish for me because
Half.
shut up.
You feel that was straight up fanboy.
because that's somebody like I'm a Sega guy.
Mhm.
I'm a huge Sega fan.
Yeah.
Sega, any old Sega IPs coming back, I get ecstatic for, and the fact that one of the big ones are being remade very, very soon is very cool, and it gives hope for a certain title to possibly also be remade. Like, you know, well, the Panzer
What game is that?
Well, I'm not talking about Shotgun. I'm talking about Panzer Dragoon Saga.
A lot of dead,
okay.
even dead IPs. Even.
Yeah,
like,
dead
there's
IPs,
a lot of
which-
information about companies actually
Yeah,
diving into that.
Yeah, it's not even just like, oh, it's just this one company working on Panzer. No, it's like
No, it's
people
a lot.
are have attention. Like, what? No one's touching this. No one's touching Streets of Rage.
People are
No
aware,
one's touching
yeah.
this. Okay, well then I'm gonna do this, and let me holler at Sega,
Right.
and Sega be like, all right, I ain't doing it. So
Yeah.
you got go do what you want. So I mean, it's exciting, and I
Is
want to
that-
see more announcements like Panzer Remake.
I
That
also like
Aztec Adventure is coming soon,
Dude, I'd be like, why?
I also like the fact that he's open to working with other indie developers.
Nah, he's a
Like,
good dude,
really
man.
open.
we talked to a lot of
like,
indie
that's
devs,
cool,
man,
man.
and they'd be
He's
interested.
giving back to the community that,
Yeah.
helped him become who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Plus, he enjoys working with that
It's
type
passion.
of stuff. Yeah.
that's
Passion for what you do, passion
Yeah.
for games, and the community too. Because I mean, what do you say? You had to set up a Discord to communicate with
Yeah.
the fans so they don't miss certain things.
super important.
And that is like, if for example, if he said Shining Force 3 is being remade, it'd be like, who can I talk to make sure I guide this in the right
Right.
direction? Like, I want to have I don't want to get paid. Just I'll tell you how to do the shit because there's some things that need to be in there. And then if
Right.
you want to add your own little spin on it, by all means.
Right.
But like, you got to have the essence of the game in there and
Yeah.
everything.
But the cool thing about the Panzer community is that, like he said, they're not toxic.
They're not. They're like they're like
Positive.
our generation.
Yeah,
They're our generation of games.
Yeah.
It's not to shit on the new generation of, people who like video games, but when they don't get their way, they're very toxic. And they say, "Oh, this sucks. They should be fired." And they like
It's not a our way or no way.
just make a
type
suggestion.
situation.
I make suggestions all the time. State of Decay, I make suggestions. I didn't know one of them would actually be done like a crossbow. I said, "Word." I still bought the game regardless if there was a crossbow. Like make a suggestion to see what happens.
Yeah.
And lo and
You gotta
behold,
be nice about it. That's
That's
all.
true.
and you just know it's gonna be good.
Well,
so,
social media is, especially Twitter, isn't made for that, man.
Yeah.
It's a one-way conversation.
yeah.
It's like a bullhorn. Like, hey.
And without further ado, like always, we talk about the games we've been playing for the week. Who'd like to go first?
Oh wow! Damn, he just pointed right
Just
to Chuck.
nominated
Well-
Chuck. All right.
Well, you guys know I'm trying to make General in Gears 5. So I'm doing a bunch of challenges in that. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Dragon Ball Fighters. Season 3 dropped yesterday, and I jumped on after not playing for a couple weeks. And to sum it up really quickly, got my ass handed to me.
Damn.
You know how
I
to use
think-
those new characters already?
There are no new characters. It's just the new mechanics. I'm not used to them.
Oh, they changed how to play?
A little bit. They changed the playstyle a little bit. So, and they added the limit break system. So when you're down to one character, you automatically get a power boost, and that's not even including sparking. So it gets disgusting.
So wait, when you're down your last character, you get a power boost.
Yes,
And it's like, is it like insane or is it like?
It's significant.
it can. It's
a big deal.
Significant jump in power.
Kev's like, yo.
Yeah, he might have a shot
could-
at beating me now.
Maybe I
Chalk.
could beat Chalk.
He might have a shot at beating me.
Do both players get the boost? Like
Yeah,
when you get
I
to
mean,
your last?
if you're both down to one character, yeah, you still get the boost, but it's still like, I think it's unnecessary. That's the only thing I'm not really liking about the update. But
They're
you
tired of
guys-
seeing people getting their ass whipped.
yeah,
So
I
they're-
was that person.
So they're balancing it out.
If you guys saw my stream yesterday, I got stomped out like 10 to 15 times straight by the same dude. It was bad.
Damn.
I'll post a couple clips in a little bit.
Sure you want to do that?
Yeah, no, I do. I
You
don't
know
care.
what? You should edit together like a blooper reel of just you just getting murdered.
I could do that with that one stream.
You should, and you just and commentate over it.
I might just do that.
Do some commentary over the
I might just do that.
I would do that. In Smash
wasn't pretty.
Brothers. Like fuck it. When
wasn't
you're
pretty
having
at
a
all.
bad day, fuck it. Just do it.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's all I'm playing.
That's it. One.
No, 2. Gears 5.
Gears. We're close to beating it. Like probably two
No, we're
more.
not. No, like 3.
3?
Stop,
You said
stop.
it was like 2.
He lied, man.
No, I think I can do it in one.
If
There we
just
go.
sit there
I
and
think
play
you can
for
do-
6
I think
hours
you can
Play
straight.
it for 6 hours straight.
Well, especially
And
the way
you-
I was getting with the long shot. Come on, you have to mouth pop, 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 pop. Come on, that shit was crazy.
I think you may get in the zone if you have enough time.
Okay.
If you have enough time.
No.
Because I did that in one day and then some, but I did put in some time though.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed because you.
Get Gears in one day?
No,
The
man.
whole game?
Okay. I thought.
Nah,
The
he
whole
fin-
game.
No, he finished. No, he finished 2 chapters in one day though.
Yes,
Okay.
I finished. Okay, so I might as well jump into it. So I finished Gears 5, I jumped in halfway in, and I finished the rest in one sitting. And it was quite addicting. I was determined to beat it, though. I was like, I'm not doing those side missions, just going straight through, doing this and this. I ended up doing side missions.
Yeah.
So you know it's a good game.
You got to find stuff. You have to.
You have to find the components to make sure
Definitely
Jack
the-
runs very efficient.
Yes.
But it didn't feel like
He's essential to our operation.
Yes, it was, yeah. But it didn't feel like it was a hassle to do. It was actually very, very fun, and it did feel like a Hollywood movie as it was winding down.
Best Gears?
I think it stands a chance to being the best Gears.
Your
I
favorite
didn't-
Gears?
I didn't play all the Gears, so I can't say.
No? Really? Which
I
ones
only
did you
played
play?
1, 2, and then I played 1 again when they remastered it.
Oh.
And
3
I
was
played.
Never
fire.
played-
I
You didn't
started
play 3?
3. I started
3.
3, and then I saw you guys play it.
Oh,
Kinda,
3 was
It
epic.
kind of
3
ruined
was
the
awesome.
story for me a little bit.
3 was a dope.
3 was
fire.
amazing.
And then I decided not
Oh,
to
what
do
up,
it.
Reggie? Radical
But,
Reggie's in the
yo.
chat.
Radical Reggie!
What's
What's
up,
going
man?
on? What's going on?
What up, brother?
Stay tuned, sir.
Gears 3 is like my second favorite. 5 right now. I didn't even beat it yet. It's my favorite.
The amount of action in this, though, it is not rivaled by the rest that I played. Like, as far as other parts. Like, it felt like it was a chore at some parts in the other games, but this part was like, nah, nothing
3 had
was
some
bad
dope
in it at all.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
So, and then what else did I play? So, and I beat, this is the week of beating the game. So I beat The Messenger. Finally. Finally.
Oh.
That game
Somebody
is so long.
beat
Finally
that game
beat it.
finally.
It's long, right?
That game is long.
It's a long game.
It's a long game, but it's like a. I mean, I kind of got lost in it. I understood how to find stuff and understood how to use the map. I mean, I could have done it if I was paying attention more. I could have done it in like maybe 3 hours earlier than what I beat.
But you went back to it, right? You stopped.
Oh,
for a
yeah.
while? Yeah, that's.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
that usually
and you were
kills
trying to rush through it.
Well, I didn't
trying to rush
understand
through
how
it?
to find all the things I was looking for
Oh,
until
okay.
later, and I was like, okay, I understand what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand when it opened up where to go.
Like the notes. You find looking.
Yeah, yeah.
You understand? I'm still
Yeah.
finding the notes.
So once you get it, you get it, and then you
Yeah.
don't need the internet and stuff for it and all that. But it wasn't a hard game. It was just a long game for that type of Ninja Gaiden type game, like a 2D game like that. It's just very long for that type of game. You can get to the end of Ninja Gaiden in like half an hour. Like you could run through that, like the 2D ones. You could run through that game in like no more than an hour.
Yeah, if you don't get hit by that bird that's over the place.
Yeah.
Over the
If you
jump.
know what you're doing, you can get to
You'll
the
get
end
touched
very,
by the
very
birds.
fast. But in this,
Speed
I
run.
saw somebody do a speed run in like an hour and 48 minutes. I was like, man,
What, Messenger?
No.
the Messenger.
That's
Chill.
sick, man. That's sick.
It's ridiculous.
No,
It took
chill.
me at least like 9 hours. It was a long time.
But you enjoyed the game?
It's a very good game.
good.
Yeah, and I after I beat it, there's downloadable content, and I started the downloadable content. I was like, I should just move on to another game, but I was into
Was
it.
it worth it? The DLC?
Yes, but the difficulty level on it is much higher.
Oh, dear.
Learning curve.
And not learning curve, but I was fighting a boss. I was like, yo, this boss is harder than the last boss in the game. It was like the second boss. It was rough.
You go learn today.
Gotta learn.
But it was still fun though. It was fun, and it reminded me, the hard parts in the game reminded me of Celeste. Just the way you have to be on point with your movements.
Did you beat that?
I don't know. That game gets way too hard. Like
Dude,
I heard
I saw
that
in the
game gets
eShop.
super hard.
I saw it in the eShop for like $3, $4. Yes.
No,
sir.
it's definitely worth it. It's
I'm
an
always
amazing.
tempted to buy, but I'm like,
Jay had the
it's
offended
tough.
face. Hell no.
Were
you crazy?
No. So Celeste is a great game, but I was playing at the same time as Messenger, and I was like, all right, it's really overlapping, and that game it's going. You have to be like into it. You have to be that's the only game you're playing because you have to be pinpointing that game.
Right.
If you mess up by a millisecond, it's over. Your whole shit is done.
Damn.
So, do I want to jump into that next? I do, because it's one of those games that you have to play.
It's fun.
But I don't, because I have so many more games that I want to play, and I want to be stuck on one right now.
Yeah.
Because you know how most new games, you
I
don't
got-
get stuck in them. You
I
just have
got
to
a
have the time to
recommendation.
play it.
Yeah.
So if you have time to play, you can beat it. So I don't want to be like
I got
stuck on something right now.
I got a recommendation that you won't get
Tomb
stuck.
Raider. Damn it! I get to beat Tomb Raider. I'm
I
not
have a-
stuck in
I
that
have the
game.
Just gotta
Perfect
get
rec-
rid of that. Just
Yeah,
finish it already.
That's gonna be my next one. I'm gonna get rid of that.
No, man, you
Gotta
need to
get
play
rid of
Katana Zero because that's a one sitting. You can finish the whole game and it's dope. and
Actually,
you
might
won't
buy
get
that.
stuck.
I might buy that actually.
It's a
Rather
must.
than borrow
It's,
it. I read because I like the music.
It's a
and
must
It looks
play.
fun, and I could run through that.
it's
I was
a
thinking of playing
Katana Zero.
Kunai next.
Kunai.
Oh, Kunai.
Oh,
I was thinking of
some
playing that
Beardy
next.
played. He said it's fucking dope.
I hear good things
Good.
about it,
Yep.
and hopefully it's not that hard.
You can tell it's a fun game.
It looks pretty good.
Who doesn't want to be a tablet?
Yeah, right.
A ninja tablet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who would think of that?
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja tablets.
Oh my god.
Teenage Mutant Ninja tablets.
That's
Yes.
hilarious.
But yeah, so I'm on to the new stuff.
Are you going back to Valkyria?
Oh shit.
I
I do.
All right.
See, it's one of those long games though. Man.
do it.
While we
I
got
have
Reggie
to.
in the chat, I just
I have
wanted to
to.
go next real quick because I
Go
know
for
he
it.
does his bread and butter is pickup videos, and I did a pickup, one of my own.
Yeah, put it down. Put it down.
I did a pickup, a video game pickup. This is a recommended game. I read a lot of good things about this. This is an indie game called Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden. It's actually on sale at GameStop. I got this in the in-store pickup for $9.99 on sale, man.
It looks very interesting.
a
You went to
strategy
GameStop?
I know, right? And hey,
They're having a
Get this.
closeout. They're having a closeout deal.
yo,
Oh,
believe it or
man.
not,
I might have to go.
I have
so.
to say my expectations was very low going into GameStop. I knew I was like getting ready to be harassed and be like, offered all this stuff, dude.
They don't
The
care no more.
interaction was like 5 seconds. I
That-
literally went in. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Hey, can I help you, man?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm here for a pickup online order." He's like, "Oh, okay. What's your name?" I'm like, "Alvin." He's like, "All right. Show me your ID." Showed the ID. He's like, "Okay, here you go. Have a good night."
Because they already found new jobs.
Dude,
Now they already got another job.
I actually waited too. I'm like, he's
They
gonna
just-
offer me something. He's gonna offer me something, man.
They just scam your credit card and you're good.
Exactly.
It's like, yo, we about to
Yeah,
bounce. I have to get all his
Yeah.
information.
we got his
We gone.
credit card. We got his
Yeah,
debit.
man.
Next
Hacked.
week. Next week, better check and see if they still there.
But
Hacked.
I have it. This is, as you can see, another thing that's cool about GameStop. Usually, they've been known to open up brand new games. This still has a shrink wrap on it. It's practically,
I haven't seen that in a
it's
minute.
completely brand new. It's completely brand new,
I haven't seen
So-
a wrap on a game in a long time.
dude.
Seriously.
This is again blown away by the service and
No
it's-
sticker, no
it's-
nothing. Nope.
No stickers, nothing.
I'm
You
disappointed.
don't even know where you got this from.
I'm disappointed.
It
in
actually
GameStop.
looked very intriguing, though. I was pretty impressed by it. I was like, oh
Yes.
wow, this looks pretty cool.
I heard it's very tough. too.
Strategy role player.
I've seen it sitting around for a little bit. I never really
Yeah?
looked at it, but it was
I mean,
around.
look at
It's
it.
an
I mean, it
indie
looks
game,
like-
so it looks
You
stupid.
look at it like, what the hell is
The
this?
character, look, you have a duck,
A duck and a pig.
freaking pig and
a boar or
a
whatever.
mutant.
Yeah, like
Porky Pig and Daffy Duck.
But
in the
It
future.
looks like a really
With it.
dark strategy RPG, but in the vein of like SOCOM, but just like really dark and weird. It looks good though.
I saw my man get blasted in the back. That shit was funny.
But that's I didn't even play that yet. But we're talking about games we played, and this game I just beat today. Astral Chain was beaten today.
Finally,
This
finally, someone has played it and beat the game.
forever.
That's
How was
Platinum
It actually-
Games?
Huh?
It's Platinum.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
First off, amazing game. I don't want to say too much about it. Other than that, just like The Messenger, it's one of those things where it's like once you figure out how to play the game, and then it's like, oh, this game makes sense now. Because I was like, in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is pretty repetitive. I'm doing the same moves. Until I found out,
Oh, I can unlock more.
yeah, that I had like a skill tree that I could freaking unlock, and I didn't know how to do it because it was like there's so much stuff in the game, and it's
Blew
actually
up. And he was like, "Oh, this is the magic
Yeah,
that
no,
people were talking about."
it opens up a lot, especially towards the end of the game. I was like, wow, this is like, it's like an anime. It's like a lot of the Sega games, like Vanquish. It gave me a lot of that kind of vibe. The boss battles are freaking crazy, man.
They were always
like,
kings at action.
Old
Always.
school boss battles, like multiple forms. Like you think it's over, and it's like, no, I'm back. I was like,
Was it like a treasure boss where it has a bunch of limbs flying around?
there's a few of them like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them like that. It was a dope game, man, and I really like the way they changed the pace up, so it's not just hack and slash. It's like they have like a detective mode. They have a little bit of stealth in there.
So they did some
Cool.
Zone of
Pretty.
Enders 2 type stuff.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just keep throwing different stuff at you.
yeah, man.
What's your next game you're gonna start after that?
Actually, it's,
Evil Within 2.
Yeah.
Actually, I started this game, and that's another reason why I kind of veered off of Astral Chain. I played Valfaris,
Okay.
but I only played a stage and a half.
Type of game is that again?
It's a
Side-scroller?
side-scroller platform game.
Like
The same
what,
guys
Contra?
It's like
Or-
Contra,
It's like
Metroid.
with like
Contra?
like Slain.
Well, I saw
it's
I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It's like the
makers
rock
of-
and roll stuff.
It's it's the same makers of Slain. But
Really? Same makers?
Same developers of Slain, but completely different. Totally different.
I
Games.
want you to finish that quick because, and Reggie can actually agree with me on this. I want you to start, or somebody here to start, Evil Within 2
You know what?
as
I might
soon as
play that.
possible. Someone needs to experience
Halloween.
that game.
Halloween.
I'm good on that.
Halloween.
Yo, that game is dope, man.
Good on that.
One of the best horror games I've ever played.
I gotta play that. Man.
Anything else?
And I took 2 days off. I still haven't played it yet, but I took 2 days off from playing Tetris 99. Yeah, but I've been playing every day like since the 2 days, and I stopped. So I'm afraid to go back.
Your
'cause
streak
I
is
know-
done. Next.
Damn.
Shit,
man. You just stabbed him right there.
You ain't no Goldberg.
You ain't no Goldberg.
That's foul.
How about you?
I am playing. This is probably what, my 4th or 5th run through of Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Just lost counts, folks.
Yeah, because they had the DLC that came out with the new characters. I beat that, which is like 10 hours. And they put those new characters in the main story, which I was going to start over again, which I did. And I got them in the main story, so I'm playing it over again.
How are they introduced in the main story? Is
They
it seamless or?
I mean, someone mentioned something of them, and you could walk around the monastery and go to an area, and they're like, "Oh, would you like to go down to the abyss?" And then you can go down there and recruit them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
you'll
okay.
see. But it's cool. I mean, playing it again is dope. Watching those cinemas again and living through it. But like I was telling you earlier, Turbo 857, the Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, they're still my favorites. They're easily my favorites of the entire series. Three Houses still has the best music, hands down. Nothing touches that soundtrack. But the other two, those are my favorites. So I've been playing that. I think I am on chapter 12 now. I got like maybe 10 to go. In between that, I've been playing Smash Brothers Ultimate. Trying to get other characters besides Marth and Lucina a lot better. And I must tell y'all, you got to watch out for my Byleth. You got to watch out for my Pit. They coming.
Armpit.
They coming. And they
gotta
dangerous
watch out for
right now. Watch out for my Pits too, because they
out for-
sweaty.
Watch out for the.
Thanks for sharing.
Nah, I'm joking, man. I ain't sweaty. I ain't sweating right now. Damn.
Actually, if you look on your pits, there is a sweat spot.
That's
right
what
there,
that
you know
smell
what I'm
is.
saying?
Oh
I
shit!
mean, why you make me do this? But, piece of shit. I've been playing a lot of that. Been playing online past couple of days, just going back and forth playing the two of them. Not many people are picking Byleth anymore because when they come out with a new character, everyone's got to pick them and learn the cheap shit. No one's really good with them. No one is really good with them. They're
There's no
really
exploit?
not good with them.
Unless
There's
they're watching
no
this
exploit
now,
with them?
now they're like, oh shit.
There's not an exploit that's fast enough for them. They need a fast exploit for them to use them.
You can't throw a banana peel constantly.
Yeah, exactly. There's none of that. You could agree. There's no quick exploits. He has
You can't throw a crown 1,000 times.
Oh wait, hold on. You mean you have to learn the character?
Yeah, and learn actual timing with the character. Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
'Cause
You didn't glitch and use 2 weapons at the same time. There's nothing like that.
Nope, you gotta play with skill.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
play
found
with
one
skill.
last night. He got smoked. I smoked him with Pit. Smoked him, but no one really picks him anymore because you have to actually learn how to play with him because he's slow.
You know what? That does bring me to another point. That if they put Dante in the game, which that was the whole thing. If they do put him in that, he could do the switch up weapons during combos, just like they did in Part 3 that they added.
Oh yeah.
So that would make him pretty unique in the game.
They have that.
There's a lot they
have
can
that
do with
Devil
him.
May Cry
Yeah.
5.
There's a lot they could. I still believe he's in the game.
But he'd have to
be
play
honest.
different than Bayonetta. Though.
Yeah.
That's the problem with
Because
having him in there.
They're so close,
Yeah.
but you could make them a lot different.
True.
But no, I have a feeling it's going to be announced. Not first though. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. Been having a good time with that game. Next week I'm going to try. I gotta get better with Cloud and Terry. Finally, I'm gonna play with them.
Are you okay?
Are you okay?
What other game are you gonna venture into next after Fire Emblem?
Well, I'm Fire Emblem. Well, I got Fire Emblem, Smash Bros. Ultimate, and I'm playing State of Decay 2 still. State of Decay 2 has a DLC coming out March 12th with a whole new map.
Damn.
So
You still
I'm
got
going to
DLC
be
for that game.
So I'm going to be still playing that. But as far as a new game to play,
Down to 0. Who said that?
I mean, well, we have I have 3,000 duel.
Yes,
That-
I've
so-
heard that get
that's
hyped
right.
up also.
So I
That's a gym.
So I
apparently.
have to start that next. So
If you guys saw our eShop, you would know about that.
yeah,
3,000.
you would know about them gems, man. We all about
3,000.
those gems. Truly outrageous. See what I did there?
Yes, I was gonna do it.
Give me some. Come on. You ain't gonna give me none?
Nah,
That's messed
you
up.
stole
Yeah.
that. You stole that
Damn,
from me.
I did a lot better.
You stole my glory.
You did nothing but date yourselves.
Well, I heard I'm a good date.
Nah, it came out like 3 years ago.
See what I did there?
That awful movie.
See what I did there?
No.
Nothing? Okay, that's it for me. What about you, Kev?
Speaking of Dante, no, I recently got and I'm playing Devil May Cry 3.
Oh, that's
No, on the
right.
Switch?
You got
I
you got
forgot
the
you got that.
we gotta mess with that 2-player.
I saw it for a second and I was like, I thought it was split screen or something, but
You don't know
no,
about
they're
that?
on the same screen, man.
Wait, hold on, Kev. He doesn't know about that.
Bloody Palace.
Bloody Palace is
Bloody
2-player
Palace,
co-op,
two-player
local.
co-op.
Yeah.
Virgil and Dante.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the same screen.
You didn't know about that?
That's a reaction right there.
What?
No,
Well,
I
I
did not
could-
hear it was 2 players at all.
I got because it was $20 and it's been on my PlayStation 2 backlog for a year.
You didn't play it?
Yeah, I've never played.
Never
Three is
played it.
dope.
Really?
I
3 was
played
dope.
one.
Three
It's one of
is
my
dope.
favorites.
I beat
It's one of my
one,
favorites.
and I've
man.
beaten 4, and I haven't. I meant to start DMC, haven't, and I'm waiting for a Switch port.
Sleeper.
I know it's coming.
Sleeper.
60 frames is gonna happen.
Sleeper.
But Devil May Cry
DMC
3
as well.
is awesome. That is an awesome game.
Did you play 5?
Nah, I didn't play 5. I'm waiting. I was gonna play 5, but I was like, you know what?
5's
3's
dope.
coming out. Let me beat 3 first because I want to appreciate 5. You know, I want to appreciate it first.
I think
Did
they
you
made
play
3.
4?
I've beaten 4. Yeah,
I think,
Oh,
Four's
okay, so
awesome.
you just never played 3.
4 is awesome. And
I think they
thought
made 3 easier a little bit because that was a rough game.
Yeah, I heard that was one of the
you could
toughest
switch
ones.
your
That was very
styles
rough.
on the spot, and I
was
heard
very
that that's a new thing. I was like, yeah, freestyle. I could switch up between the
Yeah.
trickster, switch up between
Yeah.
the royal guard and the
Wait, you couldn't do
gunslinger.
that. You couldn't do that in
Not in the original
before?
3, no.
Not on the spot. You have to go to statues and then equip the style like that.
Oh wow.
So that's new.
Yeah. So that's like a new thing. I
Because
hear.
I mean, Dante was able to do that in Devil May Cry 5.
Right.
Yeah, he was do it on the spot. It was stupid.
He still has the 4 styles in part 5.
It's stupid.
Does he have any more styles? It's just those 4.
No, just he has,
Still
he
not
doesn't
better than
need any
DMC.
He
more
doesn't need
style.
any more styles than that. You know?
Yeah, I know. I still tilt towards DMC being better than 5 a little bit.
Story wise.
Yeah,
gotta play
I
'em
just
both.
love
I
the
love the story.
Yeah, the presentation to me was just like I was really blown away by DMC.
It's
But-
one of the few games like I rarely play a game twice and
I
beat it
forgot about
twice.
DMC.
Huh?
I said I forgot about DMC.
I bought it on 360.
so good. It's
I loved it so much that it came out on PS4. I bought it again, a remastered version on
It
PS4,
confused
and I
me.
beat it again.
I
It
forgot
was
which one I
awesome.
started.
Port
play
it
it
to
again.
Switch, man.
fucking
Port
great.
The
it
story
to Switch.
was the,
No, I definitely enjoyed it. I remember
the story is top
Definitely
notch though. The
enjoying
story,
that
the
game.
way
I
they
think that was
integrated the
probably the main
story
thing I
and
liked.
the gameplay was just perfectly woven together. Because
I thought it was hilarious. I was laughing my ass off.
There's some
Yeah.
parts that are like
I got like
Ninja Theory.
60 to 70% through. I
you
should have
should-
finished it.
Oh, you
though.
should have.
Wow.
But I think it was on my Xbox 360, and I don't know where that save is.
This is why I try to do one at a time because I will.
You
get
can run through that
sidetracked.
game.
I'm gonna get sidetracked.
You can run through that game very fast, man. I did it in like 2 sittings.
We gotta mess with that 2-player though.
Yeah, we do.
No,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what
We gotta get an overlay going for that, and we'll mess with the 2-player.
What else
for
you
that.
playing?
Dragon Quests 11 still
Next,
haven't
let me
beaten
stop.
that yet. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm kidding.
I'm going slow through that, and I'm not gonna take up too much time with that. I've talked about it before. Still trying to beat Wargroove. Oh,
Wargroove.
Al, I got in one of those last battles, man, when you have 3 commanders.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I was killing it. I was on the last leg of that part,
man.
and this dragon swooped down, killed one of them,
Yep.
destroyed the whole battle. I was like,
Yep.
no!
Yep.
I just did that battle
Yep.
for more than an hour. I am
Yep.
not playing that over right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So that's where I'm stuck.
Damn.
And that battle is awesome.
The
It's an
battle,
awesome battle.
it is awesome, but it's frustrating when you fucking
You
have
got
to
the
start over.
Navy, you got the Air Force, you got the ground troops. It's an awesome battle. 3 commanders.
tough.
One of them died by a dragon. I was just like,
It's
yo.
tough. It's tough.
Like, this is...
It's tough.
When it
That
comes to
sucks.
strategy role players and you're in it for like an hour, some shit goes down where you have to probably play it again.
Yeah.
But I was winning the battle. Like I was like, yo, I was like,
Yep.
I'm crushing them. I'm crushing them. Dragon swooped down, came in the middle,
Yep.
took out my commander. I was like, he took up that much.
You have
he
to.
took that
You have
much
to
energy
really.
from a commander.
You have to really pay attention to every fucking detail, man. There's like 100 things on screen, and you have to pay attention to each enemy.
Yeah, it's
and like you'll forget. You're like, oh,
underrated game. Awesome, awesome game. And I'm also playing Walking Dead last season with Clementine. Just finished the first episode.
oh, nice,
Nice.
Wow,
Nice.
wow. That was crazy how that first one ended. About to
Yep.
start the second one.
He,
But,
knows, he knows what he's talking about.
I gotta be in the mood, man. I gotta be in the mood. Right now I'm watching regular Walking Dead.
I'm trying to unlock Cable and Ultimate Alliance.
Still?
I can't do
still?
it. I got a lot. I got level
playing
40
too much.
characters.
He's
Man.
playing too much, man.
I'm playing too much. It's too much going on.
He's
Right?
playing too
haven't
many
unlocked-
games, man.
I haven't.
serious?
I've unlocked. You understand? I've unlocked Gambit.
do understand.
I've unlocked. Did you unlock them yet?
All of them are all unlocked.
Really?
Yeah, it
we have
took
to
me-
get the videos on those.
It
We
took
have-
me a day, not even a day.
Nah, man,
Maybe
level
the second
40. I
time,
can't.
second day I had it.
Yeah.
it was still-
I kill Ultron and that idiot comes out and just kills
Yo,
everybody.
you heard his voice? I killed Ultron. You cried?
Sound
I
like
kill
he was gonna
Ultron.
try.
And then
Oh, boy.
that ball comes out that just shocks everybody, and then everyone just jumps me, and then I'm like, I'll get this another time. Too many
I guess
games.
we know who the weakest link was in the 4-player.
Basically,
Watch the footage. Watch the
we did.
footage.
Every time I
How
say,
many
"Yo, why you
times-
taking Spider-Man
Chuck,
right now?"
How many times?
Oh,
And you
Spider-Man was
died
level 20.
immediately
Save
after.
it, level 20,
No,
we're
it
all
was
40.
the level set
I was gonna
suggested was
say-
like level 30, and he was like level 19, talking about, "Yo, I got this in Spider-Man."
Dead.
Dead.
Gotta save him again. Gotta save him again.
I would have thought it was me, man. But
No,
Nope.
I boosted your characters up.
well,
Your
I
characters
I
were
kept
up.
the same
Kept
character
same character throughout the whole game. He's on level 60 at the end of the
Yo,
game.
man, bitter.
Punisher,
He
tell
sound mad
Punisher.
bitter.
Sound mad.
until the last game. Punisher, all day,
Punisher's a great character.
which I had to learn at the end, which sucked because he was not as fast as Iron Man. But whatever.
Oh, I also got Bad Dudes too. I was playing Bad Dudes. The
Bad
other day.
Dudes?
Bad dude.
Bad dude.
It was,
Wow.
$2. It was $2.
Dude,
Throwback
You just said
Kev.
bad dude.
Bad dude.
And Shinobi Sega Ages.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
How many
okay.
games are you
But
playing?
that's the arcade one, though,
played
right?
like 8
Yeah,
games,
the
bro.
arcade, yeah.
That's the one hit death.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're not
but
beating that.
no, they have a Sega Ages mode where they give you energy.
Oh, they do give you energy.
Yeah, they give you energy.
Yo, you had.
And you can press a button for the hand-to-hand moves instead of just waiting until the enemy come close. You can
Dude.
actually press anything.
Yo, you had a straight
Dude.
up nostalgia moment.
Yeah,
and just
man.
went on a buying spree.
No,
Dude.
I have that sometimes. Yeah, no.
It's like $10. So
No, it was
Dude, you
$2
have-
for Bad Dudes. It was
This
$2.
guy has limited time.
it's like
and
$8
he's
for
like,
Shinobi, $2 for that.
I wanna
Playing
play
the most
that.
games out of all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played like 6 games.
No, when there's a sale, I'm like, yo,
You ain't
I
beating
got
Shinobi, though.
cop that. Like I copped Monster Boy. I haven't even played that game. I
That
just
game's
took 'cause
amazing.
It was on sale.
That game's
buying
amazing.
Monster
I
Boy.
beat
You know what
that,
sucks
yeah.
is like I try to buy stuff on sale too, but sometimes I'll put it in the bin or whatever in a shopping cart.
Yeah, the price
I'll
points
leave
up.
in there, and I'll be like, I can't pull the trigger yet, and then the shit goes up, and it doesn't go back down.
That's the worst feeling.
No, they
Have
go.
you tried River City Girls yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Ah,
I ain't try it.
that's all right. That's all
I
right.
ain't try it.
Too many games, man.
But it's too many games. Too many games.
You
I'm
beat
gonna
that in
get
2
to it.
days.
I'm gonna get to it.
3 days.
But definitely want to get that Wargroove 2-player, man.
We're gonna get that
I
soon.
want to play that
We're
campaign
gonna get
so
that
bad.
soon. Might get it going this Sunday.
But I can't play it.
Might
because
get
I
it
need-
going this Sunday.
What's
I
What was
need
sound
somebody
day?
to help.
What's sound
I
day?
need a co-op partner,
Is that like a day you just sit down
and I
and
have
listen
the
to music?
fucking
Sound day?
DLC.
Sound day.
But anyway,
Yep.
let's move on.
Right before we move on, let's just shout out our new followers.
Oh, we got new
Twitch.
followers.
Oh, shit.
Bubba Fex, shout out.
Boba Fett.
I like that.
Oh.
name.
Kitty's World Invasion, shout out.
Shout out. Yes.
Windex 121,
Windex
Oh,
121.
yes.
Becky Star,
Becky Star. What's good, Becky?
Kenja Mode,
I remember
Kenja
Becky
Mode.
Star,
and
yeah.
SDPK 73.
Damn, that's a lot of followers.
SD
Welcome.
PK
Thank you
73.
guys.
Thanks.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for the love.
Welcome to the
Thank you for
revolution.
following us, and thank you for coming along for the ride.
And
It's gonna be
cheers,
fun.
guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's gonna be
Cheers.
so fun.
I'll drink to you. Can drink to you guys.
Cheers.
Let us know what y'all drinking, even if it's not alcoholic. You don't,
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to drink alcoholic beverage.
Yeah,
If you
no.
do, just let us know what you
Doesn't have to be.
Remember
And
the
if you
beer
do,
app
it's-
on the phone?
So what?
Remember the beer app on the iPhone? Like the
No.
first app
Oh,
they ever had
yeah,
on
yeah.
it?
You go like this.
You
and
could drink it
the
and
beer
it goes down. It was terrible.
Doesn't have to be alcohol, but it does have to have bubbles.
Yeah, and if you are drinking alcohol, make sure you're of age.
No, Mike.
And drink
What?
responsibly,
No,
please.
Michael.
That's right. No drinking and driving. No drinking and driving.
Drink responsibly.
That's right.
Drink and game.
And with that being said,
Yep.
Drink and game all day.
let's move on to the news.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this first piece of news.
So, let me see.
Tell him, Sticks.
Jesus Christ.
Relax over there.
It's got to say
Relax.
the news, man. It's
Relax
gotta say the
over
title.
there. So, Streets of Rage 4 trailer confirms 4-player local co-op and 2-player online co-op.
I'm about that life.
First
And-
for the series. Sorry.
And
Sorry.
And
the 4th character.
yeah.
So that was originally supposed to be the
Fifth.
announcement.
Fifth.
Is it the 5th?
Yeah,
he's
character.
Oh, I
fifth.
forgot about the kid. Yes. The 5th character.
Floyd
Mayweather.
No, it's
Not
Floyd.
Floyd Mayweather.
Araya.
Floyd, I think.
Floyd Allion or something
Araya.
like that.
Araya Floyd. Was it Floyd?
No, his first name is Floyd.
Okay.
Damn, kept fucking up some names.
His name is Floyd.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're all wrong.
So apparently
Floyd.
the character, the point of the trailer was to confirm this character. And he's like a really diesel, like semi Max looking.
Max and Zan.
Yeah.
Looks like
played
Mac
Street-
and
Direct
Street
Max and Zan mix.
And-
For those who are familiar with the series.
What's familiar?
Familiar.
And he has robotic arms, similar to Jax, if you think about it, from Mortal Kombat.
Who, Frost?
Not Frost. Look up that meme, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's that, Frost?
Kind of bad though.
So, apparently his storyline has to do with Zan.
Oh
And,
really?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like his robotic arms are a scientific thing from Zan. If that is indeed the story, but people could be elaborating a little bit too much on it, and we'll see. But all those characters have a throwback to something in the other.
Yeah,
other
exactly.
Story. So they keep the story
I
tight.
figure.
Very cool, very interesting. A lot of people were mad because it wasn't Skate.
Oh, they
No.
did.
Isn't that his name Skate?
Yeah, no,
Skate.
Skate's
Eddie Hunter.
Adams.
Adam's brother.
Yeah,
Adam's
right?
little
And they were
Well,
mad because we want him. I was like, wait, this is 2020. We didn't know rollerblades.
But even still,
But
man.
at the same time, they said this is the 5th character announced. They didn't say this was the last one.
Well, they said this is
Also, there's also could be DLC. So
Yes.
you never
Well,
know.
You
it
always-
was described as final playable character.
Okay.
Maybe from the title screen. Who knows? This is Streets of Rage. There may be some hidden characters in the game.
Shiva,
maybe.
freaking there was a
Shiva.
kangaroo.
I'm still waiting
Shiva
for the
was
kangaroo.
But they don't need the
Shiva
king.
was ill.
Shiva's always.
Now
dope.
Shiva should probably make a guest appearance at some point. In there.
Yeah.
No, well, he's
That's a
he's the
dope
first boss.
Boss.
Again.
No, but I mean, like in the other game, you beat him, and then I forgot you hold down B or something, and he
Something
joins
and
you.
you could play as him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he's available again in the story.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to be the original, like reason for the trailer, and then they said we have a surprise, a secret surprise,
I had a heart attack.
and then they announced the local co-op. Well, no, they announced the online co-op,
Online,
2 players,
yeah.
and it was like okay, that's cool, and then they popped up 4 players.
The way they
You
did
saw,
it.
you saw the squad walk.
No, the way
said
they
3.
did
They
it
showed
was the
3.
best.
series.
The best way to reveal it. Oh, the first in the series. So I'm like, all right, 2 of them walking. I'm like, wait, what's Adam doing there? Oh, this is 3. Oh no! I'm like, don't fuck with me. Don't fuck. They
Four?
said 4
Yeah.
player. And I'm like, what is this online? That shit said local
Local,
co-op.
That's awesome.
Yes.
yeah.
I can't even.
That's our channel.
Yep.
That is
That will be
legit.
streamed.
It was
yes.
made-
That's
for
streamed
level
day
85.
1. Like
Yeah.
that game is streamed day 1.
Oh yeah, now it's
Yeah,
happening.
I need a release date right now. Like
They
I
said
don't need-
spring.
I
Spring
Spring's
said
not good
spring.
enough.
I need the season.
Which is
I need
spring
the
starts
date.
in about like less
Couple
than a
weeks.
month.
Couple
Like
weeks.
it's pretty close.
Like 3 weeks.
Yeah. So
How about release it
who
tomorrow?
knows? Yeah, it's not releasing tomorrow. No. But the way the game is looking
Oh my god.
with the juggling system and just the moves and the way the new dude grabs people and can chuck them, like
He looks
it looks
dope.
fun.
I like how he
great
threw some.
character. So fun.
I like how he threw some dude out the back of a plane.
Yeah.
He's all
No, he was throwing everyone.
He's like, get out of
He
here.
was throwing everyone like cheap. He was
just
like,
like,
come on, get out of there.
Yeet.
So, but
that-
I'm
the
glad that
music-
he's not Max for me because Max was a little like cartoony big. Like I mean, every character in this is cartoony big now, but something about that character just didn't vibe with me as much as the
The
rest of the
wrestling
people
tights.
because he was too big of a character with those other people the way they were.
So that was too much beef.
Too much beef. Yeah.
Too much beef.
Too much screen real estate.
But now, how big freaking Axel is, like he's almost as big as like he's mad big. So all the characters in there are thick with 2 C's, except for Blaze, unfortunately. But
Axel's been working out in the off
Axel
season,
looking
son.
kind of thick though.
Yo, man.
who that from?
That Frost?
Yo, Axel been working out in the off season.
Yeah, I mean they're on the cartoony look. Some people don't agree with the style because you know,
Really?
it's the internet.
Because they're
Of course.
always going to have
Well,
somebody.
someone was hating because they're like, I want that pixel style, like River
Yeah.
City, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, someone's going to find, if you're going to change up the style of the graphics, someone's going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, they did a justice right away when they announced Adam. Right away, I'm like, okay, they know exactly how to do this series because
Yeah.
Adam hasn't been in it since part 1,
Yep.
Which is crazy.
which is insane to me.
So
So
he
it's
was
like,
kidnapped in part 2. He joined the cops in part 3.
yeah, it's like,
and then what's going on? Not playable.
exactly. So it's like, all right, now he's back. That's dope. Awesome. All right, so you have the original 3 in there. Then you throw in a new character in there too, and then you have Adam's daughter in
Yeah.
there. Too. It's like that's cool, man. That's dope.
But on the first stage, Adam gets killed. And his daughter comes
Stop.
out. That's the story.
Stop. That's not
He's only playable from the first
You
stage.
can only play him in versus mode.
Looking like Luke Cage and Obama.
Stabbed.
It's got Luke Cage and Obama. He's got a crazy moveset too.
Nah, it's just, yeah.
Luke Bama.
Luke Bama. No, but the music for that trailer has got me so pumped.
Music was good.
Oh my god, that
Music was
music. How many times did I play that
Oh,
down here?
dude, I like that music, man.
And it's funny because it's not the same, and it's not a throwback to the old game.
No.
but it's
the own
still good.
It's
yeah.
just like
style.
around. It's dancing around it though. It's dancing
I
like
wanna
the
know
trailer with
no part
Adam
3
Hunter.
though.
What?
No part 3 music.
No, we don't need that.
I'd like
his
to
part
know.
You don't want no
music.
throwback to
There's
part 3.
people who like that. I don't know how.
No, they like that techno.
There's an
No,
audience
That
for
shit
that.
is terrible. Part 3's music was god awful.
There's an
Well-
audience for that music.
Well, the guy, the composer who did it said that's his best work.
Wow.
Still, he said that's one of his favorite
Koshiro.
soundtracks.
Yuzo Koshiro?
Hold on. Street Race 3?
Yes,
He's crazy.
he said that's his favorite stuff.
Who
to
did
this day.
Streets of Rage 4?
Really?
The music for it.
I don't recall.
I
Nobody
I
that we
heard he
know
might
of.
be included. I heard.
Really?
Yeah, I heard he might be
Yuzo
included in
Koshiro.
this one. Yeah, Yuzo Koshiro.
Can you do samples still though? Because that was
I don't
sampled
know,
to death.
yeah.
There was so many samples. That's what made it good.
It was a
But-
different time back then, man.
But no, the part 3, because part 1, awesome. Part 2, music, awesome.
better.
3, I'm like, what happened? What the
Different game.
fuck? And I'm not one that hate, but god damn.
I thought it was a different developer.
It's
Yeah.
the same. It's the
That's
same
what I
thing.
I
first
couldn't believe it was the same dude.
It's the same thing that happened with Tribe Called Quest.
Wow.
As you can use samples, the beats went a different way. It's not as bad though.
Same
Not
group.
as bad.
Same group.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm beyond excited. Before I was excited, like regular excited for Streets of Rage 4,
Yeah,
but
I
after
was
this,
like, yeah.
I'm so fucking pumped.
I'm like, 4 players? That's insane.
So pumped.
And I was not even like anticipating another announcement. I was just waiting for the game.
Yep.
Like I'm already down to buy it. Just tell me the release
Yeah,
date.
so they said,
and
yeah,
now they're
Hunter,
like, no,
I'm like,
you will
that's-
buy
You didn't
this
know they
now.
can get you more hype
Yeah.
than they actually did.
Wait, you guys aren't excited for Battletoads?
Listen.
Moving on.
Listen.
Disrespect.
Sorry,
Stop talking about my battle.
I was joking. I was joking.
Right.
It's still going to be good.
They're working on it.
I've
No, it's just we just don't know what's happening. We
We need some answers.
So Street
They
Rage
need to
4.
release some
Can't wait for
information.
it. And
It's gonna be dope.
It's going to be on the channel. Look for it.
Yeah, man. Let us know what you think. Next.
Okay.
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Bethesda. Okay. So Bethesda follows Activision in pulling games from the Nvidia's GeForce Now service. So now that Nvidia's service is a pay service and not a beta anymore, it's $5 per month. It's $5 per month, and companies are having a hard time understanding or wanting to deal with that service the way it is because they want you to buy their full game in order to give them a reason to play it. So, what was it? So
Activision dropped out first.
Activision did it first because they had a conflict
Yeah.
between the companies about how they want that service to work.
Right.
I don't know if they worked that out at all yet, but as of now, it's pulled off. And now Bethesda is leaving everything. Well, they're leaving one game on. They're leaving what was it, Youngblood?
Youngblood.
Young Lug.
I forgot the game. I forgot.
It's not Doom. What's the other game that they have?
Skyrim.
Not Skyrim. Wolfenstein Youngblood. So,
Wolfenstein.
so for some reason or another, Wolfenstein Youngblood is left on the service. Probably
That
because of
wasn't-
some plan they had beforehand to do that.
That wasn't
But-
even as good as the first one.
But Elder Scrolls, Doom, Fallout, and other titles that Bethesda has have been pulled off of it, and they're not coming back on at this moment until they find a way to get paid, obviously. How do we feel about that? See, this is the problem with the cloud gaming platform. Companies are going to do what they've done with movies. And remember how we'd be like, oh, Netflix is awesome because they have everything.
Right.
Everything's on here. You can just pay for Netflix and you can get everything.
Right.
And then you got like
HBO Go and then
HBO Go,
and
Hulu,
Amazon.
and Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they all took their own shit.
So everybody's taking their titles and moving onto their own cloud service
Yep.
and their own
Disney Plus.
subscription-based service.
Yeah.
So if these guys say our games are big enough for us to jump over and do our own thing, just like how when Epic jumped over and did their own Steam store.
Yeah.
basically.
What was it? Origin?
Just because of because of the success of Fortnite,
Yeah.
they had enough money to do whatever the heck they wanted. So they said, listen, we're going to do this here now. So if, say, a company like EA or something is like, we're making enough off this one title to start our own streaming service and people will pay us our $15, so we don't have to cut $4 or $1 off of their $15 service. We want the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when all these big companies, it's going to come down to. Remember how back in the day we used to have a whole bunch of third-party companies?
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
slowly dwindled down into like 5 or 6.
Right.
Same thing with music, same thing with movies. All dwindles down to the big 5.
Where's the
Mergers.
claim? Where's the claim at?
Mergers.
Yeah, claim.
Midway.
LJN.
Midway.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were doing it back then too, but as far as charging us,
Right.
these 4, 5, 6 companies are going to merge, like, even Sammy Sega and everybody, and Namco Bandai. Everyone already merged, but now they're going to charge you now each month.
Yeah,
So if you want every game available that
you
comes out,
just jump ship, man.
No.
When the game you want to play leaves the fucking platform, just go to the next platform, like an exclusive on a console.
but you won't
go
own
to
any
the-
of this stuff. You won't own any of it, but you won't even have the choice to play it if you jump ship and move to other ones.
Yeah, it's a different market, man. It's just I
I
don't know
just-
if they've
I
really
just-
figured it out yet.
I just don't want to see that happen, and it's inevitable
It's
that it's
happening.
gonna happen.
Yeah,
that we're gonna
it's
pay
happening.
$15 for Square games, $15
Yep.
for like Capcom games,
That's annoying as hell.
You
and,
know what though?
and they're like, oh, but it's gonna be cheaper than $60
Yo,
per game.
Yeah, but if you're paying
But
$15 a
It's
month,
gonna be
to 5 different
$120 a
platforms.
month,
You know-
especially with everything, all the services.
Yeah,
you know what's gonna happen though?
That's true.
What's gonna happen is piracy is gonna go fucking skyrocket.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
once nobody's
gonna
gonna
figure it
buy
out.
every goddamn.
Well, they're gonna have to figure out a way to play that stuff.
But they did it with movies though. Look at movies now. You can watch. Well, I'm not condoning it, but you can
Pirates.
You can find. Yeah, you can.
Way to
you
clean
can-
it up. Way
you
to
can
clean it up.
find,
I heard.
you know,
I heard.
through little birdie told me that you could you could actually stream movies without paying for them. And
From the fire stick.
and TV shows, yeah.
We should
If you
probably
don't
stop
want to
talking
really
right
pay
now.
for a service, there's ways around it. Is what I'm saying.
We should probably
that I
stop
heard.
talking.
I heard this though. I never,
Hey,
you know.
you can Google it. It's fine. It's on YouTube.
Google's
but
your friend.
It's not simple. No, it's
Yeah.
always a hassle. Believe me, it's
No,
a
it
hassle.
is a hassle. It's not,
to do.
it's not easy.
You can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
Get ready to pay for GeForce, Stadia,
No,
Steam,
no,
PlayStation
whatever.
now.
PlayStation Now, Xbox then.
no.
Yo,
you know,
man.
what,
The
whatever they
xCloud.
come out with.
xCloud.
The xCloud. I know, but Xbox
But everybody
then.
wants there to be a 100% one service to
Not
do it
gonna
all.
happen for years.
Never
And right
happened.
now, the way that Xbox is getting all the titles for their service, it seems like they have the best right now as far as your choice of games that are out. But all PlayStation has to do is say, "Hey, you want to play our exclusives? Then you got to join us." And then they're gonna charge you $20, whatever it is,
Dude.
and it's gonna be ridiculous.
Imagine that shit though in the future. It'd be like
It'll
be an app, like a PlayStation app.
It's gonna happen. Just like
Play all
HBO.
your
You think
games.
people are gonna get cable to get HBO now when it's $10 a month?
That shit
I
is
got
crazy,
HBO
man.
Go, Hulu, Netflix.
But overall, those choices are still cheaper than your cable bill.
Yep.
That's
so
true.
that's what this is all going to come down
Monthly,
to.
yeah. It's still cheaper.
Yeah. So as much as we hate it, because of that, it's going to happen.
We're probably
Yeah, think
all
about
gonna be
buying
doing it.
all those games that in all the libraries.
So thanks Activision, thanks Bethesda, thank you so much.
Yep.
Starting this revolution.
sucks.
I mean, they didn't charge yet, but watch. You want to play the new Doom? It's $5 a month. Rental services for everything.
But when you beat it, you can stop paying.
Blockbuster went out too fast. This is what happened.
Yeah,
This is what you could have been doing digitally.
Blockbuster was before that time.
It's like I'll turn off Square. I beat
Dude.
all their games. They got a new game out. I'll turn the subscription back on. You can do
Yeah,
it.
talking about
it'll-
playing. You ain't gonna be throwing nothing on to play like old school.
No, it'll be old school. Like AAA titles will be like considered old school, whatever. Like to play a physical game and shit like that. Just like much like arcades, when you have to go to the arcade to
Yeah,
play
yeah.
like the latest game, and now it's like a barcade. Like they're still around.
Yep.
It's just different. It's not the same as it was before. It's never gonna go away completely. Like I don't think physical media is gonna go away completely.
Nah.
There's always gonna be a market for it.
It's like 2D.
Look
Everyone
at
thought 2D
there's
was going
vinyl
away.
records. They got you can still buy
CDs.
cassette
People
tapes.
still
You
buy
can still buy
CDs.
CDs.
No,
You
I'm
got
not
a
saying it's
special
going
order
away,
CD.
but
It's never gonna go
this
away.
is gonna be the
but
primary way
is it gonna
to
be
play
the
the games.
Right? Is it gonna be the mainstream way? No.
Nope.
But there's still gonna be a market for it. I think.
they're gonna send you a Bethesda box that has a year's worth of codes in it. $200. You get all these games.
They're not
and you
even
can play
send
them
you a
all.
box. It'll just be emailed to you. Like
Wait, hold on, wait.
text.
The Bethesda box? Are they gonna send it to you in a garbage bag?
Exactly. It'll just be a case. Now, their games were already a case. Like Youngblood, what you call it? Youngbloods was already a case with no game in it.
Wow.
It's the
Yeah.
worst. That's the worst.
Dude, you know what? I was just thinking about this shit, man. I just picked this game up, and I'm thinking to myself,
Is there a game in there?
I don't hear anything, but I'm like, there better be a fucking game in here.
Well, it's a little shit. So
Well,
Imagine it'll be a code.
It's a
dude, if
download
it's a code, I'd be pissed. No, they've done it before. They've done it before.
No, it has to say it on the box though. It has to say it on the front that there's no game inside.
Oh, okay. It says
Yeah.
deluxe
It
edition.
says deluxe edition, so you're good.
Buy this case.
You probably got an
and-
instruction booklet. How is it a deluxe edition?
Yeah, I don't even see. All right, never mind.
So onward with
Onward.
Onward.
next. So for this news, Spawn is coming to Mortal Kombat 11 in March.
Oh,
I like it.
I still
Actually,
haven't downloaded
I like it.
Shang Tsung.
The movie Shang Tsung. That's amazing. That he's the movie Shang Tsung.
I got
Yes,
Mortal Kombat.
yes.
Mortal Kombat 10, and it's really good. I have the horror pack.
Yeah.
Of all the
I like that
horror
downloadable
character.
content better than this one's.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously the characters are more different in this.
But I like this
the
one
horror
though.
pack.
This right here makes me think about picking up Mortal Kombat 11, man.
Remember back in the day when they had Soul Calibur released for three different systems and they had
Yes.
3 different exclusives?
Yeah.
Yes, that's
And
smart.
somehow Spawn
and
pops in there.
Yeah.
Spawn was an exclusive in
Yes.
one of the Soul
Like he's an
Calibur.
Xbox,
Xbox.
franchise.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Spawn was in there.
Soul
Yeah.
Calibur 2,
And Soul
man.
Calibur, yeah.
Oh, wasn't
You
it
had
Yoda?
Link.
Link was for
You had
the
Link, you
Nintendo,
had Darth
and
Vader, Yoda.
Oh, Darth Vader,
Hachi
Yoda.
was the
Hachi.
exclusive
Hachi,
for PlayStation.
Yeah. I remember Darth Vader and Yoda, but I don't remember which Soul Calibur that was.
I like it when they do that, man. When they do like a extra character.
Would you ever think of Spawn being in a Mortal Kombat though?
No, it makes
He
sense.
Oh, it makes
he
sense,
fits in
dude.
more than Soul Calibur.
He's from hell.
Yeah,
He fits in more than Soul Calibur.
He's a hell
Yeah.
spawn.
he's literally like Scorpion's cousin.
I mean, yeah,
Think about
Pretty
it.
much, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he does fit. I mean, the Joker
Yeah.
doesn't fit, but he fits.
I don't know if they're gonna if this is just a character or if like you know how like in the Mortal Kombat games, if they're especially like the reboot.
He's not getting a story mode.
That's the thing, man. I want him to have a fucking story, like fit him in somehow.
I'm from hell, die. That's a story.
I'm from
They got
Hell
they got
Die.
a fucking years of comics that they can fucking
Listen, I was a huge fan of Spawn. I have almost
Dude.
every. I have the first 100 comics of Spawn. Like back in the 90s, I was huge on that.
Yo, let's get a Spawn open world game, man.
I want a Violator.
You got
comic,
Batman?
man.
No,
Why not? You wouldn't want a Spawn open world
Open
game like
world
Batman?
game? I guess yes.
So
Yes,
I'm
I
about to
would.
say you.
Well,
I know you would love
One
that.
deserves
I
shit.
know.
it. He
I watched
deserves
the.
Hyper
I never
violent.
thought of it like that. man.
It's extremely.
I
like
watched
Punisher.
I watched an interview with Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, and he said that the script is done and they greenlit it.
Man, they said that like
the
10
movie.
years ago. They
No,
said that
man,
20
this is
years
recent.
They
ago.
said that about Uncharted 5 years ago.
I've been hearing about this flop movie
Actually,
for
that's
25
also
years.
that was also
Flop movie.
greenlit too.
I hope it's not. But
What's his
damn.
name? Tom Holland, the guy who's playing Peter Parker, is going to be.
Nathan Drake.
Nah, I don't
He's
know
gonna
if
be a
that's
young
happening.
I
Nathan
was
Drake.
like, what the hell?
Man,
he's
he's gonna
gonna
be
be a
old
young
Nathan
Nathan
Drake by the time this
Dude,
comes out.
Nah, it should
Yo.
have been Nick Lachey
No.
to play.
No, listen.
Who is that?
Did you just say Nick
Who is
Lachey?
that?
to play.
Eric,
Stop. First of all,
Yo,
did you
first
just
of
say
all-
Nick
Should
Lachey?
have been Nick Lachey.
Let's move back.
no. Wait. Before we move
Back
on. Before we move on, you guys didn't even hear what I was going to say.
What did you say?
Tom Holland is going to be Nathan Drake. Guess who's going to be Sully?
I
Nick
heard
Cage.
It's terrible. It's terrible. No,
Al
it's
Pacino?
Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
Wahlberg?
Awful. Awful.
Listen,
Awful.
they're
It
going
should
by
be Al
Old
Pacino.
ass Sully.
listen,
No, it should be Al Pacino.
they're going by 10 years later. So he's going to be
before?
10 years older. No, I'm saying 10 years from now.
Dude,
Mark
they take-
Wahlberg is going to be like 65.
Listen,
Ain't gonna look
so he's
nothing
gonna
like
look
Sully.
like Sully.
No. They said that
It's not being made.
they
first
said
of
in
all.
the script that
Not
they
gonna
took from the script from part 4. That's the last fucking game.
Oh, it's terrible.
They're
Why
gonna
are
throw
they
it-
going to
they're
take it
gonna
from
do-
part 4?
Because they're going to talk about
that's the end of the.
Because they're going to
fucking
throw
series.
back.
Listen, all right. If they do a spin-off, that's fine. That's that.
Wahlberg could
which
be
I hope
Nathan
they do.
Drake.
But
Yeah.
why are they gonna?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. I don't
Because
know.
he's going to recall back to the days of when he was younger.
I hope
Sully
they.
should be Al Pacino.
Pacino.
Yes,
But I heard he's not Al Pacino anymore. He's dumb.
Oh my god!
Hey, yo, we gotta put up that meme, man. Yeah. You know.
Oh my gosh!
All right, but we got derailed.
So
Just saying.
the reason they know what this character looks like in Mortal Kombat is because the Todd McFarlane toy, the advertisement or the promo stuff for that came out.
Yeah.
So this is the actual design for him, and he has a sword.
Dope.
Yeah. Not only that, he's got a sword.
He's got
Remember
a sword
It
though.
doesn't have
It
chains.
used to
Remember
be
that
an
from Booker
axe.
T?
Used to
I
be
know
an
it
axe.
used to be an
axe.
It should have been an axe. What the hell? But yeah, this isn't like the medieval spawn. That was a dope spawn. Though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I like.
But who
mech
knows?
spawn.
You might be able to pick the suits in that. But him using a sword, it should have been chains. You can chop people up with the chains. It
Mech spawn?
doesn't have to be a
He
sword.
might have changed. You never know.
Remember the Spawn
gonna
game
change,
for,
it has to.
Dreamcast?
No. Let's move on.
It was a fun game, man. What you mean?
Alrighty.
No.
Well, this is all
We're not doing that.
it's right up your alley, man.
There's a game for the Dreamcast?
It's bad.
Huh?
You had a game for the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Yes, one.
Yeah. He had no cape. It was
did.
bad. It's bad.
It was a shooter or something.
Yeah.
It
bad
was,
game.
it was like a shooter slash.
I'm looking at
Told
it.
you we weren't doing. We're not going there.
Yo, it was a fun game, man. Why, I don't know why you're hating. But anyways,
See what's happening.
Next to news.
Xbox
Yes,
Series
let's
X.
move on to the next news. So Microsoft unveils Xbox Series X specs and shares some cool details. So obviously, Xbox is the only one talking about their system right now. PlayStation has not said a damn thing about their system other than the name
Nothing.
and the logo.
That's it.
And maybe some specs which aren't clarified yet.
Nope.
But now they have talked about what's actually going to be on the Xbox. No exclusive titles, apparently. But I kind of understand where they're going with that now because obviously, unless you've had a game that's been worked on for at least 2 years now, with the development time these games take, you're not going to get a polished game out on the first year of your system unless you were thinking way ahead of time. And Xbox just bought all their companies, so they don't have anything that's strictly for that system, which isn't going to say that there's not going to be new games for it.
Right.
But a cool thing that they have, let me just get the name of this guy. right here.
Backwards compatibility.
Well, backwards compatibility they did announce,
Which is crazy.
for every old Xbox
It's
system.
Yeah.
every Xbox.
Yeah, so if you have
again,
any-
That's smart.
it's going
That's
to work
very
for
smart.
everything.
I still have some old Xbox
Your boys
games.
did something good. So
yeah,
far.
no,
They did
that was
something
actually a good
finally.
thing, man, because it's going to take them 2 years before their new games.
So
come
I
out.
could play brute force on there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you
I
can.
can play.
You got jokes?
I can play brute force.
Why?
Knights of the
So
Old
you need something to
Republic.
play. You got to
Why-
play your old
1
game.
and
You got
2.
jokes?
Well, listen, they said it's going to have ray tracing, which is the new buzzword for the new system. So it's
Yeah.
going to have that, no problem. It said it can run 120 frames per second.
Yes.
Can't see it with the human eye.
Yeah,
you
that's
can. Yes, you can. Do you
that's-
play on computer? When you play on computer, you can see.
60 frames, man.
You
That's
a
as
bird?
high as you could see.
So, am I? One of the other things they announced that we did not know was they're going to have saves. They're going to have like save state gaming for multiple games at a time. So if you're playing something, you can pause it basically, move into another game,
Start it,
and then start that game.
pause it,
and then pause.
go back to your other game.
You could jump back to your other games right where you stopped
pretty
at.
Yep.
So you don't have to load anything else. You don't have to start your stuff over because main people's complaint was I can't get into my game for 10 minutes. Let me just start my game.
Oh, most games do take 10 minutes to start.
Yeah.
So
Perfect for gamers with a backlog.
yeah, but this was my thing. Like I never used the save state thing in the system now because you can
The
in
cloud
essence
save?
you can pause it, go into another
No,
app.
save state.
Yeah, you can pause, go into another app, and then come back into the game, or you can pause.
You do
the
that
game
in emulators, like
and then come back into it. So you can stop and put it in rest mode and then
Right.
come back and use it right into the game.
Right.
I've done it by mistake a few times. I'm like, oh, it's still here? It's still playing this after 2 days? So if I got a chance to use it more, I think it would be beneficial. But the fact that you can do it for multiple games means even if you mess up and forget, you can jump back into another game without erasing it. So
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Very interesting.
And then we had,
How many teraflops?
it's 12. It's 12.
12 teraflops. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
And I think I saw a video somewhere that's the equivalent of running like hundreds of first generation Xboxes.
Yeah, it's old though.
No, but like
it's four. It's the equivalent.
Huh?
The power wise,
I'm
it's
lost.
4 because it's old.
Oh.
It's 4 times the first Xbox One.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Xbox One.
Yeah.
4
Okay.
times
And then
Xbox One.
twice as strong as
Twice
Xbox.
as
strong.
powerful as the One X.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
No, sorry.
Oh,
Thanks,
twice
Zach.
as powerful.
And how
You know I
much more
love
stronger than the
teraflops.
original Xbox?
Like 1,000 times.
Who knows?
But brute force is graphics. so-
Switch is 1 teraflop, I think. 1 teraflop.
All right, moving on. So they said there's also a thing called smart delivery, which means that no matter which version of Xbox you're playing on, Microsoft makes sure you got the best version of the game for your console. So,
Like a smartphone.
well, yeah, it's going to run based on what system you have the right way.
Yeah.
What that means also is that you can buy one version of the game and you're going to get the other version for free, kind of like how
They announced that
like
with Cyberpunk.
PlayStation did it.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation with
When you
the
can
Vita
share.
games.
You can have game share or whatever.
You can
you
have
could-
what the hell?
Forgot the
save,
actual name.
Save whatchamacallit. You could save.
well, you can buy one and
Cloud
your
saves.
saves can move on to the other game, but they
Right.
would give you that title also.
Right.
So like if you downloaded it for the Vita and it was available for PS4, you can get it for PS4 for free.
But it was
after.
only with certain games. Though.
Certain games.
I had it with one of them, and it was actually pretty cool because I was like, oh,
You could jump between the two.
yeah.
But I've had it with a bunch of games for it. But that is cool if they take advantage of it. So, what was it? What's the
Cyberpunk.
yes? Cyberpunk announced that if you buy the Xbox One version of it, you can download the upgrade for Xbox One Series X
Oh wow,
for free.
that's cool.
So they're the first ones taking advantage of that. If other titles that first year do that, that's going to be great for them. So they don't have to worry about having exclusives for the systems. Because if you buy it for the old system, it's going to
good.
be for the new system.
Chuck, that's
And it's
smart.
on-
Your boys are doing some
And it's
good
on
stuff.
sale now on Amazon. You could pre-order it.
Well, it's going to make you.
$49.99.
It's going to hopefully make more
cool.
people run out and buy a Series X, like before. Like put your pre-orders in when it's available,
Right.
instead of waiting that first year and then waiting for the games to be.
Or you could
available.
just play it for your regular Xbox One.
You could. You don't have to buy it for the. You don't have to play it on the new system. But if you do want to take advantage of some of the looks and see what it actually is different, we
It'll
don't
be
know
for
yet.
free.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to buy
Yeah.
another game.
If
So
you decide to upgrade whenever.
I'll
it
be
is.
damned if I like.
That's
like-
cool.
Like have a Breath of the Wild type situation. You
Yeah,
you
two
could,
different
like, for
games.
the Wii U, and like I got it for the Wii U. Oh,
gotta buy
shit.
it again.
Yeah, like I gotta buy the whole shit
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
It's like,
Nintendo.
nah, I
Bad.
already bought it, so I should be able to just upgrade when I get the new system.
Nah,
That's why I
Nintendo
didn't
just
buy
makes
Grand
that
Theft
money.
Auto 5.
Yeah.
So they
Again.
did drop everything but the price. So that's what Sony's waiting for. That's what everyone's waiting for.
Wait,
$600.
600.
Wait, is it?
Nah, but
No,
we,
no, no.
we
They
know
didn't
it's
announce the
something
price
No one
yet.
announced any prices
No,
yet.
no, no, no.
It's a
Just
war.
rumors,
It's
just
it's a strategic war. that's
It's a
going on
hard
right now.
thing to do right now because whoever does it first is going to get like killed.
They're gonna
unless,
lose.
Depending on how much it is.
Unless you do, if you lowball yourself, then it's going to be the same price all around.
Here's, you know what's funny?
Like if Xbox does
Whoever goes
500
second, it's not going to be higher.
No.
Yeah.
If Xbox does 500, then the PlayStation may be 500 or 450.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something
It's
like
actually
that.
the rules of negotiation. I used to work in a dealership. I sold cars back in the day.
Cars. He's talking about dealing something.
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
He's lying. He's dealing.
All right, man. That was my past. Let me sign up.
No,
but
just stop
one of
talking
the-
right now.
One of the first things that they taught you was that the first person that speaks loses. So if whenever you're negotiating anything, if you say something, you can always beat the
Oh,
price.
so it's Xbox.
So if you
Xbox
say-
going to speak first.
If you say the price, you can always beat the price to get the sale.
Series L.
Damn.
Relax.
result.
Relax over there.
No, but as soon as you say the
You a
price,
hater.
the other person is just going to be like, okay, look at actually, if you look at the last generation, right, or this generation to say, on the reveal when the Xbox.
Well,
revealed
Xbox
the
learned not
Xbox
to
One.
go first. We'll
Well,
see
they-
if they do.
They went first, and
They'll
they
learn
said,
to not
"Oh,
to.
it's going to be always online. It's going to be you can't trade your games because you got to freaking." And then what did Sony do right after that?
They backsmacked the hell out of
They
it.
said, "Oh, this is how you exchange games with your friend. Here you go."
Yeah. So if they say our system
like a-
is $600, they're gonna say, well,
But you know what?
our
Though?
system's $500.
There was rumors that they were going to do the same shit though. They're
Oh, I
gonna have
know.
the always online and all that shit. So they backtracked.
Well, they announced basically it's that way now.
Yeah.
They have the all digital Xbox. They just
yeah.
released on the slide, like here,
Yeah,
this is what we had in mind.
They
to
were
begin
test
with.
marketing that shit. Yeah.
And then now they just want you to just do your service
Yes.
and do your streaming games and stuff. They don't care
Yes.
what system you freaking
No, they don't. Because
So
they
they
win
don't want
every
you to buy
they win
games.
anyway.
bah.
So yeah, so at least they said something. Sony's like, yeah, that's all fun and dandy, but we don't have to say anything yet. And they're not going to say anything.
They
yet.
can't afford to say anything, man.
They haven't said anything
They
yet.
can't afford it. They
Nothing.
can't lose this
They
generation.
can't even say backwards compatibility like positively. They haven't even done it yet.
Nope.
But we can assume so. They've hinted at it. So
At least
we'll see.
And they're going to do
PS4,
it on their own
right?
terms, man. They're not going to be at E3. They're not
No.
doing it on
Yeah.
their own terms.
But you
They're
think Xbox will
renegades.
release the price at E3?
Huh?
I don't even think they'll release the price of
No, I
anything.
don't think
They'll
so.
announce.
They're
the
gonna wait
price.
to the very last.
They're
day.
gonna
In
wait till
October.
after. They're gonna wait till after E3 and then
October.
have their.
How you gonna pre-order with no price though? You gotta have it out there.
They're gonna
Put the
They're gonna
pre-orders
wait
out
till
on October.
They'll wait till after E3 have their PlayStation whatever.
It sucks. I don't even want to get rid of my Scorpion. My Scorpio season.
Scorpion.
It's Xbox Scorpio,
What
right?
about your Sub-Zero? I'm sorry.
So anything you hear about
But I don't wanna
Sony,
sell. I don't
anything you hear about Sony is just rumors, man.
Yeah.
Nothing's official.
But I don't want to sell my old system to get the new one because it's like a limited edition. If I hold on to that, it'll probably be worth it. I'll get rid of my old
Yeah,
Xbox
you don't want to. No, don't get rid of.
I'm
them.
glad these problems don't apply to me.
because you don't buy nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't have anything yet for me
You
to
don't
buy.
buy nothing. Watch.
They just come out with a new system with no games.
State of
online.
Decay, State of Decay 3 first title
I
they
haven't heard it.
announced.
I haven't heard it.
Watch.
I haven't heard it.
Online only.
I haven't heard it. And I'll tell you why I haven't heard it. This is why it's not going to happen.
Online only.
This is why it's not going to happen because they already just came out with a DLC.
Yeah.
Because
It
that's
ain't
the
going to
last
happen.
game.
They ain't doing it yet.
I know because they're working on Walking Dead.
And the cool thing is, as soon as they do announce it, this guy's going to get it, not me.
Now you can play it on
And
that
I'll just get the
Xbox.
game. I'll just
Because
get
you
the
can play
game.
it on that Xbox probably.
Jay's going to be like, here, take my money. What games do you have? None. I still want it.
Yo, shut up.
Wow.
No, not for no $600. Listen, I
You'll
can
get
wait.
it. You'll get
So
it.
what does everyone else?
Not if
what
there's
do you
nothing to
guys
play. Not if there's nothing to play.
You know I'm always excited for Xbox. I'm here for the ride.
Halo's coming out.
ride.
Halo is on the way.
Halo's the launch
As
title. I'm
long
here
as,
for the
Halo,
ride.
as long as Halo comes out, you good.
I'm here for the ride.
What about you, Kev?
I like the save state thing. I think that's pretty awesome. I'm looking at playing multiple games at the same time and pausing all of them.
That's because that's what you do. That's right up your
Yeah,
alley.
That's what I do on the Switch. I get to a certain point, save, play another game. Save, play another game. Now I can just...
You don't even have to save.
I don't have to save. I just have to pause them.
That's it.
I just got
And then
pause.
somebody's going to trip over the cable, or the system's going to hit the floor, erase everything.
It's a
Power
wrap.
outage in your house. You're like, oh shit.
I like the 12 teraflops. That's
You don't
gonna
know what
be-
that even
Nah,
means.
man. That's
I
gonna
don't
be
know what that
very-
means.
It's going to be very tough.
I don't even know what that
I
means.
don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Nah,
dude.
man. That
I like
means
the flop.
four
Yeah, you do
players.
flop.
Gears of
Flipping
War
flops.
6, 60 frames. Every single split screen 4 ways.
Yeah, it should be. It should
Listen,
be.
if they pull off 4K 60 frames as a every game thing, that'll be amazing.
I'll tell you one thing that'll
I
get
don't
me
think
very
they'll do
excited.
But they're talking 8K.
The loading times have been killing me so much in all the games I play for Xbox. Gears included. How long does it take to start it up? Like 4 minutes?
I tried when I played it yesterday.
Stop it.
No, when I played yesterday, it was like need to update. I was like, okay, go ahead, go update.
Update to an update.
And then it didn't update. And it's sitting there. I'm like,
Update and then install it.
are you installing? What are you doing?
I've never seen a system have so many updates.
And then it was like Tekken 7 updating. I was like, what happened to Gears? Update my Gears. I don't care about Tekken 7 right now. And then it somehow did it. It just skipped over it. I was
State
like,
of
what the
Decay
hell
2,
happened?
for some reason, for a less graphical game, I've never seen a game have such long loading time.
Because they're still trying to finish it.
Yo,
They're
disrespect.
still trying to
Disrespect. I don't know
They're
if
like,
you guys
please
saw.
take the rest of our game, please.
I don't know if you guys
at least-
saw
at
on
least
Xavier
PlayStation.
Woods' Twitter. He posted because he hasn't turned his Xbox on in a long time. So he turns it on. He's like,
Everything
"Oh, you're
updated.
installing 875 things." I'm like,
God damn.
What?
You better leave it on.
God
Just
damn.
leave it, yeah, just leave
Leave
I was
it
like,
on.
For a
"Bruh,
week.
show your Xbox some love, man." Like, turn
Nah,
it
man.
on.
It shouldn't
That's
be
the
like that,
Well,
man. It
that's the
shouldn't
one
be
thing
like
I
that.
do like about Sony with the PlayStation 4 is that even if there's an update, you probably wait like 5 minutes. The max I waited 5 minutes, but you can still play the game
Listen, sometimes
while it's updating.
Sometimes I just want to
asks
skip the update. If like if you want to play
Yeah,
online,
it
you got
asks
to
you.
do the update. I was like, nah, I just want to play the one play game.
But Microsoft doesn't allow you to do that. It's like, no, you have to do the update. Like, what? You can't like not do it and just play
Well,
the fucking game?
The only good update is this one, apparently. So
Yeah.
we'll leave it at that.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true, man.
Wrap it up. Condom.
Thank you, everybody out there who's watching this. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because if we hit 500 subscribers or followers on all our social media, we're going to do the hot sauce challenge.
Hot sauce.
We might even hit that while you're watching this.
We're almost there, man.
Oh, we just did. Oh, all right.
All right, let's
Gotta
do
get
it.
hot sauce.
Not yet. Not yet.
Full
Not yet.
disclosure, we got like 3 subscribers while we were doing that.
Yeah,
interview.
yes, we actually
Nice.
did. Yeah.
See? There you go. But yeah, follow us on all our social media. Do all that good stuff, because we hit that 500. We're going to
Hot
do
sauce
the hot sauce challenge live.
Tell your friends, tell your family,
That's right, man.
tell yourself, remind yourself.
And if you want to see this live, you want to see this podcast live, even though it's not live right now, and you're watching this,
You can see it every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time
That's right.
on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to catch us live, but if you want to watch us, you just check up on YouTube and subscribe. Hit that notification bell, and you won't miss a thing.
Not a damn thing.
If you want to listen to the podcast, you can check us out on any podcasting service, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, any of that good stuff.
Uh-oh.
Just follow us on that.
Level 857.
That's right.
Games.
That's right, man. That being said, y'all, it's Algie857 and the
So
crew.
much for watching.
Yeah.
Peace. Y'all.
Later.